These people who make them scared are actually from the lower world. The people of the lower world not only ran to the upper world, but also slaughtered the people of the upper world. Moreover, it was they who broke through the gate of Peihong. Is this day going to be reversed? However, the people in Peihongmen have seen the world after all. Although they were shocked, they soon gathered their emotions. Liao Zongtian, the attacker, arched his hand. Master, you are back. These people. However, without waiting for the man in black to finish speaking, Liao Zongtian suddenly made a sharp eye and swept down. Is that all you have? Who else is qualified to be the head of the Thunder Gate? The voice was calm, but it was cold. Yes, ask the sect leader to confess. Language of fall, see that pair of door lord etc. Immediately respectfully hang head. Liao Zongtian coldly glances at them, and then turns his attention to Ling Xiantian and Bai Qing. Tell me, what's your purpose in coming here this time to bloody wash our gate? Liao Zongtian's voice is calm and his breath is more restrained. If we hadn't done the investigation before, I'm afraid we would have thought that Liao Zong was a good upright person. It's blood washing. What else can we have? Bai Qing has a cold voice. But the meaning is very clear. Yes? I don't know who your master is. At least, we can let the people who died in the gate know who killed them, right? Liao Zongtian said it mildly. If you want to know who our master is, just go to the Hell Hall and ask. Bai Qingshui's words are tinged with coldness and arrogance. And the assassin regiment and soldiers on the scene have a clear attitude. They want to talk from them and dream. Hearing this, Liao Zongtian could not pretend to be a gentleman, and his eyes became colder and colder. Very good. Liao Zongtian's face sank. Then you go to the Hell Hall and tell my men who your master is. As soon as the words fall, the strong breath is like a net in the sky. The swift and violent attack of Xiantian and Bai Qingshui. Do it. Bai Qingshui and others had been ready for a long time. In an instant, they saw the assassin regiment and soldiers on the scene spread out quickly and incomparably. With a tacit attack array, he made a counter-attack on Liao Zongtian who came from the half-air raid. Boom. Powerful force collision sound, once again accompanied by the sound of killing. And outside the stone gate, Gao Yu is also against the large number of subordinates brought back by Liao Zongtian. Get out of the way. You little characters dare to rebel at the gate of the Thunder Gate. You are really looking for death. A leading black-robed man squints dangerously at Gao Yu's 100 people. His words reveal infinite killing intention and sneer. Well, who's the one who's looking for death? Gao Yu said coldly. Gao Yu's words made the black-robed man sink his face directly. He didn't even bother to disguise his smile. Kill me. Under the roar, a large number of people at the gate of the Thunder Gate set off the fierce force and directly directed at Gao Yu and others who were blocked outside the stone gate. Chong Chong. The real battlefield, set off at this moment. The smell of blood will soon rise in the sky above the gate. Whether it's inside or outside, it's doomed to be everywhere tonight. On the other side, the Shangguan 5, who were still trying to break the shield, were suddenly attacked by the beast gate. When I saw the person brought by Shangguan calendar, Shangguan and others seemed not surprised at all. Shangguan, do you know that this is our family? Even if you betray the clan, you still bring people to attack. Shangguanli looks at Shangguan, his face is very ugly. There was an undercurrent in Shangguan's eyes, but it was soon replaced by a touch of coldness. If I had a choice, I would rather not be an official. You. Shangguanli was so angry that his chest ached, and his eyes were filled with anger. Well, you son of a bitch, today I skinned you, and I'll take your surname. What's his last name? It's not the same surname as Shangguan. That's the same as not saying it. When Shangguanli finished, he immediately turned his head and yelled angrily at the 100 men he had brought behind him. What are you still doing? Kill all these people and tie the rebellious son to me. Yes, all of a sudden, hundreds of black-robed people's strong breath suddenly raised, and immediately attacked Shangguan and others. Shangguan, when you get to the upper boundary, your father can really exist everywhere. Situ Lan and Yuanli raised the moment, can't help joking said a word. Shangguan couldn't help staring at him, but the swords still came out. Nanganji, Zhou Feiyu, and Yiqi's are not talking nonsense. Yuanli starts to fight back. But several people's attention, or from time to time in the attention of the following battle. From sunset to night. The Battle of Yunwu seems to be more and more difficult. The people of Wanwoman have already set out, and even Hongling and other contract animals have begun to gather together to resist. This battle is about to come to an end. However, at this time, they are all procrastinating, just for there can be enough time at the gate. However, in the bloody fight, Shang Guanli seems to be completely infuriated by his son, and says a word without hesitation. Don't think that the patriarch doesn't know what you're thinking. It's not so easy for you to destroy the Thunder Gate. Today, the Beast Gate will kill you all. Damn it. If the people of the Beast Gate know that their target is the Gate of Thunder and Flood, then this plan, Yiqi's, please. In the fight, Nangong Yi suddenly says something to the cold woman. Night Chi color smell speech, cold mouse sun saw south temple E one eye, what words all didn't say, but seemed to understand his meaning. I saved your life, alive. Cold words, after falling, see her figure, suddenly strange broke through the beast door surrounded, disappeared in the mid-air cloud top. The killing continues. Thunder Gate. The smell of killing is full of, and everyone's body is the mark of blood baptism, scarlet with bloodbath. In the distance, there are more and more people in the Peihung Gate and the Beast Gate, and their killing intention is more and more fierce. Ling Xiantian looked at the people of the fast-coming Beast Gate. His forehead was tightly wrinkled. He looked back at the elite soldiers behind him. Everyone looked cautious and slightly tired. The strength of Peihung men can't be underestimated. I thought it was an opportunity, but I didn't expect that the people who came out of the Gate of Thunder and Flood would return the people from the Gate of Beasts. If we go on like this, we will lose both sides. Don't think of anything superfluous. The Thunder Gate must disappear in the upper boundary. In the distance came the cold voice of White Water. Make Xian Dai hang Mao a moment, tiny jaw head, again throw into battle. This time, their task is to destroy the Thunder Gate. After so long cultivation, how can their first task end in failure? This time, they have seen the strength of Peihung men. Even they are hard to deal with. If this Thunder Gate continues to work for the Beast Gate in the future, they will always have to escape passively. For the hope of the sorcerer and for the cloud dance, we can only live forever. Make Xian Tianmu light a cold, hand fight out, the distant flame burning red fire spread quickly, several people of the Thunder Gate instant into coke, Zizi make a sound. Endless killing, rivers of blood, corpses everywhere, blood reflected in the air, blue sky also add a trace of scarlet. Suddenly, a strange color bloomed in the bloody sky. It was like a phoenix flying in the sky, showing different colors, hovering in the sky, and disappeared in a short time. Seeing this scene, the elite troops and the killer corps were stunned. The signal is coming. It's time to retreat. Make Xian Dai remnant shadow arrive at white clear water side, the facial expression has no because can retreat and have a silk to stretch. Yes, the signal is coming. It's overwhelming. They have to retreat. But, make Xian the sky looking at to have not yet destroyed of the Thunder Flood Gate, complexion, return is not to return? White clear water didn't speak, he thought, and make Xian Dai happen to coincide, he is also considering whether to retreat. Just give them a little more time. Now that they've retired, all the plans are in vain. Those who don't retreat will soon arrive. You retreat, leave the rest to me. Just when they couldn't make up their minds, a cold voice came from the sky. It was a woman in red, holding a snake sword and looking extremely cold. Make Xian Dai white clear water mutually gaze one eye, at the same time nod. Retreat. Some people can tell whether they are friends or enemies at a glance. Just like Qi Yi's, she is not a schemer. The elite troops quickly gathered to retreat, and ordered Xiantian to set up several stone formations to stop the pursuers of the Thunder Gate. The killer regiment immediately disappeared when they heard the order to retreat. Now, the people who are fighting with Pei Hongmen are a group of people in black, who are brought by Qi Yi's. At the moment when he disappeared in the gate, Bai Qingshui looked back at Qi Yi's. Looking at the falling people in the gate, he had a pale mouth. It seems that he is a person who can be entrusted. All of a sudden, his face changed. He covered his chest with his left hand. He looked a little painful and disappeared. In this battle, they are not as relaxed as they seem, and their bodies have been unable to bear it for a long time. Although even if this woman does not appear, they will choose to solve the problem as soon as possible and leave safely, but this is still the best, and it can be regarded as an indirect completion of the task. According to the prior agreement, no matter whether the characters succeed or not, Xiantian and Baiqingshui will take a group of people directly back to the lower world. This time there has been such a big stir in the upper boundary. The major forces in the upper boundary will certainly regard them as eyesores and targets of attraction. There will be a steady stream of troubles, but the most important thing is that the troops need time to recuperate. People leave, Heart Cloud dance, Master's words, certainly can. In the cave. When Shengguan and Nanganji find Yunwu's signal bomb, they dress as if they are defeated. They retreat one after another, looking for opportunities to retreat. Behind them are Wanwoman and Shengguanli, who are in hot pursuit. Shengguan, stand back for me. In the tunnel of the mountain cave, a scold with anger came. Shengguanli looked at Shengguan who was retreating one after another, and then looked at the corpse under his hands. His eyes were full of anger, and the darkness around him was more gloomy. If he was not afraid of hurting Shengguan, he would have been entangled with them for so long and lost so many people. This is what Long Qingxia expected. Shengguan is the only one of the 10,000 beasts, which he used just right. But now it seems that this benefit has been used up, and it's time to leave. Shengguan stopped to look at Shengguanli. Father, do you really want to push me to the end? What he said was extremely painful, but there was a strange light in his eyes. Come on. Take the young master back as long as he's still breathing. Yes, as long as the Shengguan has a breath, he can make him come alive. The reason why we didn't start is that the father-son relationship has started to break down. With a single order, people immediately behind Shengguanli swarmed on. The strength of those people was absolutely above them. Shengguan Nangang nodded and looked into the air. They should have finished their retreat, right? Father, I'm afraid I let you down again. A touch of uninhibited voice, a drop, two figures fell sharply, instantly disappeared in front of people, disappeared. Shengguan's eyes were very cold. The family of beasts. Circling, the blade breath is like a scythe, with strong momentum, constantly rotating and destroying. Be careful. A slightly rapid magnetic sound from behind the cloud. Bang! At the moment when Yunwu turned around, a black shadow flew out in front of her eyes, and the white figure fell to her side. With such an extremely evil smile, the evil face passed by her ears. We can leave now. A very shallow voice passed in her ear, only the two of them could hear it. Cloud dance nods, smile can't help but emerge, eyes look a soft, looking back at a few little guys are fighting, they are now more difficult to deal with. When Shengguansheng learned that her target was the Thunder Gate, he sent his hand to support it. Wave after wave of beast men are blocked by several small families. Even if they are very strong, they will not be able to bear it for a long time. Fortunately, her goal has been achieved and she retired after success. No way. A very cold and angry voice rang out, and the dark breath rolled in with the edge. Shengguansheng seems to be aware of Yunwu's intention, and makes a more strange move to deal with Yunwu and Longqingxi. This attack, let two people dare not take lightly. Shengguan sect leader, have you abandoned your leisureness? Yunwu sneered back. At the moment, Shengguansheng is no longer as calm as it was just now. It looks like a lion king who was angered. It's a bit messy. Your mother has been waiting for you for a long time. With a low roar, Shangguanzhong opened his palm with a dark breath. All of a sudden, the whole beast door underground a boom of dull sound, like waves hit, with the destruction of all the oppressive force. Go the sword eyebrows of Dragon Qing Xie wrinkled, and the willow waist of Cloud Dance was encircled. In a moment, it opened a few feet. Cloud Dance eyes color slightly cold, will be fighting a few guys back space, away from the embrace of Dragon Qing evil, use the power to rob. Is he tired, too? Did you get the blood? Cloud Dance looks at the dragon. Long Qingxie shook his head, showing a smile, for the husband said to go, just to escape from the scope of his attack. Cloud Dance can't help but look at him, but he knows that Shangguanzhong knows they've got his blood. This time, he's more cautious. It's even more difficult to get his blood again. It's a small thing not to get blood. It's a big thing how to get out. The protective cover of the beast gate is composed of 5 elements. She has seen the power of the 5 elements. If you break through, you will die. Want to go? The corner of Shangguanzhong's tight mouth suddenly appeared a strange smile. Boom. All of a sudden, the whole surface split into cracks. The crack instantly spread to the boundless, and the strange is that the crack, actually rising with the dark breath. Cloud Dance looked at the body of the dark haze weird increasing, looked suddenly surprised. Damn it, from such a distance, she could feel the strange edge of the dark atmosphere. Look up, the gap is boundless. Is this the power of Shangguanzhong? Is this the family of beasts? Sure enough, she can't resist now. Suddenly, the direction of the purple figure suddenly changed. Do not think that you are God, you can control my life at will. Even if you are God, my life has the final say of myself. Crisp roar, mixed with cool anger. In mid-air, a purple and black figure suddenly burst out a dazzling light. Who? The shadow was shot down in mid-air. Bang! There was a roar and a loud noise. Let the 10,000 beast men who are going to support here suddenly stop. They look at the Shangguanzhong which is sunken in the stone wall, and look surprised and unbelievable. They don't have eyes, do they? How could the Lord have been beaten away? Everyone's eyes hovered between Yunwu and Shangguanzhong, except for surprise. How could it be that this woman had only the strength of the middle period of Wuzong? How could she be close to the Lord? But in front of the real scene, but let them have to believe. Looking at the Cloud Dance, they were tongue-tied and couldn't react for a moment. Who dares to take the initiative to challenge the Beast Gate after so many years in the Beast Gate? Who challenges the Beast Gate and is still alive? How many other people can beat Shangguanzhong away? But this woman is terrible. It's not good to be stunned when fighting. A voice of evil spirit suddenly brushed everyone's ears. What? When people heard the words, they turned back in an instant. But in that second, a strange black light suddenly passed in front of everyone's eyes. A white figure circled around the dark haze, came in an instant. You. The crowd looked at the dragon and fell down slowly with reluctance and disbelief. Blood does not stain the ground. But the smell of blood soon spread. Tut tut, what a pity. Long Qingxie looks at the fallen people, shakes his head and goes to Yunwu. Because Shangguanzhong was hit by the clouds, the dark atmosphere in the crack has retreated. It doesn't mean it's gone. For example, now that Shangguanzhong stands up, the strange breath under his body is restless again. Looking at Shangguanzhong not far away, Yunwu was shocked for a moment. Just that hit, but she once again consumed a lot of Yuanli mental strength, combined with 3 elements to attack. The repulsive explosive force of the 3 elements fusion, even if it hits Yunwu itself, I'm afraid it will be seriously injured. However, the Shangguanzhong, in addition to the figuresome embarrassed, his breath is not a trace of disorder. That is to say, the blow just now has no effect on him. The stronger the joint force is, the less pain you feel. Now even the fusion of these 3 elements can't do him any harm. What the hell is this Shangguanzhong? Shangguanzhong lowered his head, straightened up some embarrassed robes and patted the dust on his body. He couldn't see clearly, but he could feel the breath of death coming on him. I'm afraid I'm still in charge of your life. As soon as the voice fell, the dark breath in the gap came again. Boom! With the power of crushing everything, the ground is directly crushed into gravel powder. Yunwoo watched the sinking of her body, and her eyes swept by. It's over. She remembered that the family of 10,000 beasts was floating on the cloud. Was it because he was allowed to carry the stone? Isn't it a waste of effort to crush it like this? Or is this stone land a part of his defense? Yunwoo didn't have time to think about it. In a moment, the elements of wind around her body were lifted up, with clusters of fire. If it's just occupied, the wind element should be able to support it. But the destructive power of the dark atmosphere is not so simple. Just at the moment when the dark air appeared, the wind element on Yunwoo's body seemed to be under some control and stagnated. Yunwoo's face changed and his heart was shocked. Next second, Yunwoo's body was suddenly hit by some force. Suddenly, it flew by in the air. With a loud bang, it fell on the stone wall in the air. At that moment, Yunwoo watched with his own eyes and accidentally touched the hem of the protective cover outside the stone wall, which was crushed into powder. Just now Shengguanzheng hit the stone wall without any movement. As soon as the hem of her dress came near, it broke into powder. See this change of cloud dance, look unusually dark. How deep is Shengguanzheng's strength? The same surprise as Dragon Qing Xie, he naturally also found out. Looking at the strange smell, the dragon's evil golden eyes flied past the tomb of Shengguan. The witch clan and the evil clan disappear completely now. Shengguanzheng raised a strange radiant, and the dark breath speeded up 10 times instantly. Originally, he intended to let her hand over the sorcerer's sacred objects and temple map and kill her again, but he didn't expect that she was touching his bottom line. What holy map he wants, even without her, he will get it. The dark breath is close at hand, the dark haze hovers around the dragon's body, and the magic power in Cloud Dance's body also emerges. Cloud Dance lips slightly hook, this is the last hit, right? If you know you're going to lose, what are you going to fight? Run away. In the Hall of Chaos came the voice of Hyo. Cloud Dance willow eyebrow tiny wrinkly, run of. Can run, she has already run, still use here to listen to his nonsense. You look lucky. Black AO didn't know what to say. Without waiting for the Cloud Dance to answer, a bright light appeared in the fierce dark atmosphere. The light was bright and dazzling, and it kept spinning, just tearing a hole in the space swallowed by the darkness. Cloud Dancing Dragon looks at each other and jumps hand in hand. Jump down. In the same second, a sound came out of the light whirlpool. Just at the moment when they jumped into the whirlpool, the silver light suddenly disappeared, as if it had not appeared before. It was only in the blink of an eye that it appeared and disappeared. At the moment of falling, Yunwoo finally understood the meaning of Hyo's words. It seems that her luck is really good. Vaguely, she actually seemed to see the figure of Mangbai, the mouse she met in the secret base that day. In front of them, the scene became more and more blurred, and the clouds and dragons fell down with each other. They vaguely felt that they had separated from the family of beasts. And also in this moment, two people also can't help the complete detachment on the body finally. In fact, they have been acting as if nothing had happened. In fact, fighting against that Shengguanzheng has consumed too much of their strength. Physical injury, but also forced to endure. Maybe I saw the mouse, I don't know why, I felt a little relieved, but they both felt dark and fell into a coma. Forget it. Let it take them wherever it goes. As long as you're not in the Beast Gate, everything is possible. At the moment, Shengguan and Nanganji, who use magic to get away from the cave, have come to the inn to join Qi Yi's, waiting for Yunwoo and others. You don't think anything will happen to Xiao Wu, do you? Shengguan looked at the distance from time to time, but there was still no Cloud Dancing. His bad feeling became stronger and stronger. Crow mouth. Qi Knight cold glance at him. Shengguan looked back at Qi Knight, dead duck mouth. Don't worry, both of them are very lucky. They don't have much chance of having an accident together. Situ Lan looked at Qi Yi's and said, "How do you know Xiaowu?" "I don't know if the famous lady has an owner." "Do you still have a chance to chase you in this dignified atmosphere?" It seems that only Situ Lan can let go. It seems that he knows that Yunwu and Longqingxi are okay. Qi Night Color Head also didn't return, wiping the snake sword in the hand. The facial expression is indifferent. I don't know whether it was intentional or unintentional. Under the sunlight, the light reflected by the snake sword happened to fall on Situ Lan's eyes. What a cold woman. Situ Lan blocked the light and raised the corner of his mouth. The light belongs to the sun, but now it is cold and shivering. I like women who feel threatened most, because they are very challenging. Situ Lan raised her eyebrows slightly. Smell speech. Qi Night suddenly stand up, will snake sword backspace, turn to leave. Well, you haven't answered my question yet. Situ Lan looks at Qi Yi Se who leaves and shouts to her back. Next second. Wow, a bright dagger, straight into the crack of his palm on the table, clang constantly. Situ Lan looked at the dagger on the table with the same look, ha. Just as Situ Lan took back his palm, the whole table cracked and turned into a pool of rotten wood. Shangguan and Situ Lan looked at the scene, and their eyes changed. Only Nangong Yi has not changed, because he saw this scene when he first met her. This woman is so much like her. The South Palace lips cape tiny hook, put down the teacup, a shake body disappeared. How do you feel that this woman is as terrible as Xiao Wu? They leave one after another. It seems that they have made it clear that Yunwu has escaped from the Beast Gate. As long as they escape the Beast Gate, the rest of them don't need to worry. Because they saw that the beast men who had just passed by were looking around in large quantities. As for who to search, I think everyone knows very well. The Gate of Thunder Gate. Looking at the bloody and chaotic gate of Peihong, Shangguan's Hong's intention to kill appears. Blood is everywhere. Looking at Liao Zongtian, who has been abandoned, he looks even colder. At the moment, Liao Zongtian can't speak, his limbs are all useless, and he is not conscious. He is already a useless man who can't return to heaven. Damn it! The only powerful force to win over the forces has been eliminated. No one will be upset. Bring her back to me at all costs. The gloomy roar spread all over the sky of the whole Thunder Gate in an instant. Yes. On the quiet grassland, a few wild flowers are blooming, emitting a unique aroma. Surrounded by the flowers, two figures hugged each other on the grass, as if resting. Suddenly, there was a movement in the purple figure. Yunwu frowned, touched his forehead and opened his eyes. After the focus of his eyes, he squinted and looked around. He was relieved to find that he had really left the Gate of Beasts. She wanted to sit up, but she was surrounded by the domineering arm around her waist and couldn't move. She sighed helplessly. When you wake up, what else do you want to wear? Be careful if you are struck by thunder. Smell speech. Long Qing evil mouth corner evil spirit, for husband also want to hold you for a while, also only in for husband's arms, you just have little woman's posture, to die. Yunwu stretched out his arm and punched him in the chest. In addition to making fun of her, this guy is just eating her tofu. Is it a tragedy if he doesn't have these two things in his life? Her life more than these two things is the real tragedy. I've just escaped death, and I'll be able to flirt with you. In the distance there was a faint sound. It's Meng Bai's voice. Cloud Dance Willow Eyebrow Tiny Pick took the opportunity to get rid of the Dragon Qing evil embrace, sat up. It's really that mouse. Although, with that Meng Bai only one-sided relationship, but the impression is not bad. Thanks for saving your life again, Brother Bai. Cloud Dance is rare. Meng Bai glanced at her and said contemptuously, I regret it now. What do you want to do? Cloud Dance forehead a black, save all save now say regrets still have what use? Meng Bai looked at the dragon who sat up with him, turned his head to the other side with disdain, and said, I didn't save it. Cloud danced. The thought of this mouse is really different from that of human. Then she stood up and looked around, and found that it was a beautiful place, with heron grass everywhere, wild flowers in full bloom, and streams murmuring. Where is this? Cloud dance raises eyes to see to Mengbai way. Lower bound. Mengbai sat on the stone, not angry back to her. Lower bound? The cloud dances, the eye color is one leng. She wanted to ask where she was in this place. But his answer is direct enough, and she doesn't need to know where it is. But look at Mengbai, who is sitting on the stone over there. He has a smelly face and a second eldest brother's attitude, just like who owes him millions. Is this guy born to be incompatible with her? How long did we faint? How did you get there to the lower boundary? Ignore Mengbai that cold face. Cloud dance still have hot buttocks of then ask. There are too many questions in my mind to answer. She now feels that her whole body is the same. Before, her body consumed Yuanli and her injuries seemed to be completely intact. And look at the dragon, it seems to be the same as her. Have they been in a coma for a long time? I don't feel it from the upper bound to the lower bound. But as far as she knows, the only one who can go up and down is the border. He's only 11 or 12 years old even if he's a mouse. How can he bring them down? However, without waiting for Mengbai to reply, another voice came. It's the teleport. Long Qingxie sits on the grass and flicks the green leaves on his robe. He says with a smile. Transmission array. The cloud dances with shame. She only heard about it when she was playing games in modern times. Here, she really didn't meet. Is there a teleportation array in the world? If that's the case, why don't you waste any time in the future? Just use the teleport array where you want to go. Do you know the teleport array? So you get it. Teach me. Cloud dance goes to the dragon to pour out evil, smiling extremely beautiful and charming. If you really know what the transmission array is, it will be easier to run in the future. Long Qingxie looks at the charming appearance of the cloud dance. With a hook at the corner of his mouth and a stretch of his long arm, he pulls her into his arms. The hot breath brushed her ear, abnormal evil way, after obediently serve for husband, which day serve for husband satisfied, for husband teach you. There is only 1 finger distance between them, and his breath curls around her cheek, like a tease, which makes Yunwu feel absent for a moment. It's not serious. Yunwu pushes the dragon away and steps back. However, Maozi did not dare to look into his eyes anymore and tried to calm his inner confusion. This guy is a real monster, but he knows how to stir her heart more and more. It's better to keep a safe distance, otherwise she can't keep calm. Well, that's silly. Do you think everyone knows how to learn teleportation? If he will he need me to save you? Mengbai looks at the rosy cloud dance on his cheek, a look of disgust. Hearing what he said, Yunwu's face suddenly turned black. When was she so stupid? Long Qingxie's thin lips raised a radiance of evil spirit, glanced at Mengbai and walked to the cloud. Little thing, he is really right. Wei Fu really can't transmit the array. Cut. Mengbai instantly felt that he was weak, and his eyes were even more contemptuous. But I have this for my husband if you can learn it. Without waiting for Yunwu to say anything, Long Qingxie takes out a book similar to Tian Shu from the space and gives it to Yunwu. Cloud dance a look, be above a few words to attract the eyes of instant brilliance. Secret script of teleportation array. This man, really if there is nothing. How many good things is he hiding? How is it possible that the secret script of the teleportation array, which has been lost for nearly 100 years, is in your possession? Mengbai looked at the book and roared in surprise. The next second, the figure brush a sweep, an instant came to the cloud dance side, looking at the transmission array script, Sumlingshan. This is a real secret script of the teleportation array. He has been searching for it for more than 10 years without any clue. Now it suddenly appears. How can he accept it all at once? Long Qingxie didn't answer. Instead, he looked at Yunwu and said, a secret book, what do you want in exchange for it? Exchange? The next moment, the secret script disappeared in her hands. At this time, Yunwoo raised her eyes and met the dragon with a smile. She said innocently, "What did you just say?" "I didn't hear it." At the end of the speech, the cloud dance moves forward gracefully. Looking at the distant cloud dance, the curve of the dragon's thin lips is more obvious, and he shakes his head helplessly. "This little thing, well, let me see the secret script." Mangbai rushed to catch up. "No, just let me have a look. I've been looking for it for more than 10 years. I'm sorry. Come on." Bang! Mangbai was beaten to fly tens of miles. "Please keep that distance when you talk to her." Men's evil voice, but with the threat cannot be ignored. 3 people leave together. In the upper bound, they need to be careful everywhere. But now it's in the lower bound. The beast gate in the lower world has been destroyed before. So far, they are safe for the time being. Although it's possible that the beast gate will send people to the lower boundary to search their whereabouts, this is also a later story. Now the beast gate people should still search the upper boundary. Are you ready? Long Qingxia looks at Yunwoo. Although he is smiling, he has a trace of strictness. Now they are on the way to Yunfu. Cloud Dance slightly jaw head, the face of sooner or later to face. Long Qingxia looked at her and nodded, but he didn't speak. He put his hand on her shoulder and made a little effort. Cloud Dance a smile, naturally understand his meaning. In fact, except for Yunqi, she doesn't have too much strong feelings for the Yun family. Just, sometimes, the feeling of not seeing and seeing is totally different. The imperial city of Zhou dynasty. At the moment of seeing the gate of Yunfu, Yunwoo suddenly stopped. Before the glorious and majestic General Yun's residence, it seems that it has completely changed. No one around dares to walk along this section of the road. Suddenly, it shows the unusual quietness around. The traces of blood have dried up on the mighty gate. On weekdays, the gold plaque hanging in the middle of the top was smashed to the ground. Although the word, Cloud House, has been broken, it is still as arrogant as usual. Just like the Cloud House at the moment, although it was destroyed, it was still unyielding and arrogant. When Yunwoo came to the residence, the smell of blood was still in the air of Yunfu. At this moment, she seemed to be able to feel the killing at that time. Every inch of the ground, every inch of the wall screams, cries for help, swords, corpses, even the thick blood of the air. Cloud Dance heart unconsciously shrunk a bit, can't help hands micro grip. The next second, she took a deep breath, a little bit of fighting passed, and instantly opened the door. With the door open, the smell of blood suddenly crowded out, make Cloud slightly frown. Looking around, on the ground of Shirko, there was still a body with a stench. Bodies everywhere, blood like a river, everywhere a mess. On the branches, on the chair where Yunqi often sits, and in the back garden where she likes to stay, there are blood everywhere and corpses everywhere. This is the Cloud home now. Cloud Dance looked at the scene in front of her, at the body that had not been collected, standing in front of the door. I don't know why she couldn't move. My heart is constantly tightening, a group of anger of unknown anger, rising in my heart. Long Qingxia grabs Yunwoo's hand and says in a low voice, "This is not what you should do now." The Cloud dances and the pupil shrinks. Yes, anger and grief are not what she should do now. What she should do now is to destroy the Beast Gate and sacrifice the blood of the Beast Gate to the people of Yun family. But now she can't. The anger in my heart seemed to break through my chest. Clenching his fist's nails, he fell deeply into the flesh and blood, oozing and dripping. However, Yunwoo seems to have no feeling. She just feels that she wants to burst out because of her heartache. Beast Gate. Cloud Dance's eyes were full of blood and rage, and his whole body instantly raised a wave of endless anger. I swear in the name of the summoner that if we don't destroy the Beast Gate, the reincarnation of the fierce prison will not end. Roaring, breaking the air. It was not until half a sound that the roar of dying seemed to fade away in mid-air. Half a ring. Pupil Mao red silk gradually calm, and that terrible anger, seems to also gradually convergence. But the killing intention in the bottom of my eyes didn't disappear at all. Comfortable? Long Qingxie has been looking at her, she needs to vent. Go in and have a look. After Yunwu finished, he went to Yunfu. Walk into Yunfu. The smell of blood and the stench of corpses were all around, but the cloud dance seemed to have no feeling. Every step she took, she wrote an extra account for the beast gate. With each step, the killing intention in her eyes became stronger. She must remember everything here. One day in the future, she will ask all the people of the beast gate to pay 100 times the price. Even if she doesn't like some people in Yunfu, this is her home and her root. Dare to move her roots, she wants everyone to pay the price a walk. Yunwu took a deep breath and looked up at the sky of Yunfu, which was red by the blood on the ground. Hua hua. A breeze swept by, leaves rustling, it seems to be cheering the clouds back, and it seems to be lamenting the killing it saw. Yunwu picked up a leaf soaked in blood on the ground and whispered, "Did you see all the process of Yunfu being killed? It doesn't matter. Absorb these blood and grow up well. One day, you will see the end of the 10,000 beast gate in the same way." Meng Bai looks at the cloud dance, rare solemn silence. After walking around Yunfu, he seems to be able to imagine how Yunfu used to be, but now Meng Bai looks at Yunwu for a long time. From her, he feels angry, sad, murderous and hateful. Finally, Meng Bai could not help sighing. "That I heard your mother say that the only way to kill Shenguansheng is to kill the sacred objects of the witch clan." Meng Bai suddenly opened his mouth and let cloud dance move. The holy things of the witch clan. Obviously, the holy thing of the witch clan in his mouth was not the necklace she was wearing around her neck. Yunwu put the leaf on the stone bench, stood up and looked at Meng Bai. "What is that witch holy thing again?" Because of it, she was imprisoned in Shenguansheng. But before, she seemed to have heard her mother's ghost say, as if it was the only thing that could kill Shenguansheng. However, she forgot to disturb the family of 10,000 beasts later. No wonder Shenguansheng was so nervous that he had to get the holy things of the witch family. So that's his weakness. "Shenguansheng, don't worry, hurry to find me, one day I will find you, that day won't be too long. Since you know so much, do you know what the holy thing of the witch clan is?" Cloud Dance slightly frown, looked to Meng Bai ask. "There are all kinds of news about the holy things of the witches. It seems that everyone knows the existence of the holy things of the witches, but why doesn't she know what the holy things of the witches are?" Meng Bai shook his head. "Your mother left before she could say it. He said to leave, is only that day has been to the secret base of 10,000 Beast Gate." Cloud Dance frowns. "It seems that if you want to know the news about the holy things of the witch clan, you have to ask the sleeping Bai Lao. But now she doubts what the holy things of the witch clan are. Does Bai Lao know? If Bai Lao doesn't know, there is no way to seek. Although I don't know what the sorcerer's sacred objects are, I inadvertently said that the only thing that can stimulate the sorcerer's sacred objects is the key to the four forces of nature. That is to say, as long as we gather the keys to open the four forces of nature, we can stimulate the sorcerer's sacred objects." The power of nature. It's not like that, is it? Cloud Dance eyes color slightly change, heart rate a move, from the space took out the original from that Jia fat body to get water drop pendant. At the beginning, people of the Beast Gate always wanted to find this. They knew that the key to the power of water was not simple. I didn't expect that there was such a use. Now that she has the key to the power of water, isn't she short of the other three keys? However, when Meng Bai looks at the silver pendant in Yunwu's hand, he is suddenly stunned. The next second, his eyes widened, surprised as if he was about to lose his chin. "You do have the key to the power of water?" Cloud Dance willow eyebrow tiny pick, "Also just have this. In comparison, there are still 3 missing ones, and it seems that they are not very excited to get this one. Do you know that this Shenguansheng has been searched for decades, but it hasn't been found? You can get it so easily, and still. Or just one." Meng Bai speechless looking at the sky, this woman thought it was a house. Are these four forces of nature so easy to find? That Shangguansheng hasn't found one for decades. Is it time to commit suicide? Cloud Dance frown, want to get this is so difficult. If Meng Bai knew how unintentional she was, he would get the key, and he would probably die of vomiting blood, right? Do you know that there is an induction between the four forces of nature? When you get this key, if other forces of nature are nearby, this key can be sensed, and you will be satisfied. Can you still sense other keys? This is a good one. Cloud Dance looks at the power of water in the hand, the corner of the mouth a hook. It took back the space. As expected, there are other uses. Now that we know the way to eliminate Shangguansheng, there is another headache. That's the 5 elements of opening the beast door shield. If there are no 5 elements, it's useless to get the sorcerer's holy things. But among the 5 elements, except for the Tears of Flame Mountain and Drops of Snow Mountain she has already got, she can get them as long as she helps him find his wife. Besides the ancient light, the other 2 elements don't even know their names. How can I find them? Looking up at the sky, I feel the dark clouds. Do you know the whereabouts of the 5 elements needed to open the protective cover of the beast gate? Yunwu suddenly looks at Meng Bai. Since Meng Bai appeared in the Gate of Beasts, and knew so many things, he must have known something since he stayed in the Gate of Beasts for a long time. Don't even think about it. The 5 elements that open the shield are harder to find than the 4 forces of nature. Meng Bai snorted coldly. Is she really going to destroy the Beast Gate? That's something that people in the upper world dare not think about. She actually, tell me if you know, where's the bullshit? The cloud dances, the eye color is slightly cool, wheezing and chirping, like Aunt Wang next door. Touching her cool eyes, Meng Bai's mouth drew a little. What is this woman like her tender mother? The Tears of Flame Mountain, the Drops of Snow Mountain, the Light of Ancient Times, the Heart of Wind and the Flowers of Rattan, any of these 5 elements can make a person look for a lifetime. It is self-evident that these 5 elements are extremely difficult to find. The Tears of Yenshan and the Drops of Shuashan have fallen, and there are still 3 left. Yunwu takes a deep breath, and the smell of blood penetrates his nose. This time, no matter for the sake of Yunfu or for her purpose, she must find a way to destroy the Beast Gate. What? Meng Bai's eyes glared, full of doubt. You said you already have 2 elements in the whereabouts? The Tears of Yen Mountain have been obtained, and the Drops of Snow Mountain are near. Cloud Dance ignores Meng Bai's shocked and petrified appearance, nods sincerely, and then turns to leave. Have got Meng Bai is completely petrified. Long Qingxia looks at Yunwu's back when he leaves coldly, and a smile rises from the corner of his mouth. This little thing catching up with Yunwu, they leave one after another, leaving Meng Bai with no response. It's probably that he has been in the Beast Gate for too long. He knows that Shangguansheng has been working hard for the 4 forces of nature and the 5 elements, but he hasn't got them yet. But now, all of a sudden, it's hard for people to accept that a lower-bound person can get it so easily. Just as Yunwu was about to leave Yunfu, she suddenly caught a glimpse of the direction of Yunfu forbidden area in the distance. The original forbidden area is now filled with traces of fighting. It must be a mess of blood, right? After a moment's meditation, Yunwu walks towards the forbidden area. Soon after entering the forbidden area, traces of blood appeared. Everywhere they poured were cannibal vines cut off by the fighting force, and boa constrictors were broken. Cloud Dance coagulates Lu Mei to walk in. All of a sudden, she stopped abruptly and looked at the ground in front of her for a moment, looking at the 4 bodies lying there. At this time, the dragon Qing Xie who followed her also saw the 4 corpses, and her golden eyes sank slightly. It's the 3 elders of Yunfu and a corpse. And the body of that corpse is dressed like the clothes that Yunlingyi usually wears. Is it Yunlingyi? The white robes of the 3 elders were dyed blood red, but their faces were pale and terrible. They opened their eyes without fear and pain, but they were extremely peaceful. They lay straight in a row, as if their bodies had been touched. Looking at the 3 of them, Yunwu's heart was drawn, and the look of his eyes changed slightly. These three old men are probably the most disgusting ones of Yunwu except Yunqi, but now Shengguanzhong, this account will be added. You can rest assured that one day, I will avenge you personally. Rest in peace. Take back the eyes on the three elders. Yunwu looks at the broken body. I don't know why, the appearance of Yun Lingyi suddenly flashed in my mind. As if at this moment, in front of a just and awe-inspiring father, until death did not lower his body. He holds the sword, straight on the ground, body leaning on the tree trunk, right hand holding the sword, indomitable standing, straight standing. Seeing this scene, some emotion in Yunwu's heart was slightly touched. A crystal object slipped and fell on the back of her hand. Cloud Dance droops eyes to look at that white crystal clear, slightly frown. Is she crying? Long Qingxie's eyes flashed a touch of tenderness. Her slender fingers wiped the tears on her eyes, and her golden eyes were dark. It turns out that you are so ugly when you cry. You can rest assured that sooner or later, we will get back this hatred 100 times 1,000 times. Cloud Dance slightly jaw head, rare lying on his chest. Although she has no emotion with Yun Lingyi, after all, blood is thicker than water. This subtle emotion is beyond her control, and the only thing she can do for him is to let the culprit go to hell. Long Qingxie, with the cloud dancing figure, has come to the garden and placed her on the stone bench. Have a rest here. Then, Long Qingxie returns to the forbidden area. Looking at Yun Lingyi and the three elders, Long Qingxie sighs and places them in the forbidden area. With her, Yunfu will rise again sooner or later. She will take you to the top. Rest in peace. The magnetic voice, gently died with a strong voice, reverberated in the forbidden area for a long time. In the garden. Cloud Dance looks at the slowly coming dragon Qingxie, a slight hook on the lips, showing a bitter but gentle smile. Suddenly, her eyebrows picked slightly, as if she remembered something, looking at the ring on her finger. Where it has been imprisoned for such a long time, does it miss so much? With a flash of red light, a huge dragon flashed out. But when the red light disappeared, a very handsome man appeared beside Yunwu. This look. Looking at the man in front of him, Yunwu slightly raised his eyebrows and joked, the 8th prince of the dragon clan turned into a human figure. Is he such a handsome man? So you were the one who made it false. Or is it illusory? Before, Yunwu had seen the red fire dragon turning into human shape, but that time it was quite heroic. But what she wanted to say about the appearance in front of her was that the dragon was powerful and strong, and now it's human. Although it's beautiful, it looks like a graceful and thin scholar. A beige robe, wrapped with some thin body, black hair down to the back, the forehead of the inclined bangs floating in the wind, the whole person looks natural and unrestrained, but some weak. But soon, Yunwu found the anger and unbearable feeling hidden between his eyebrows. I was born to look like this. Even if I look like this, you are not my opponent. Red fire dragon with angry words, straight at the clouds. Oh. The strength of your original human form will decline. Cloud Dance pick eyebrow of looking at him. The red fire dragon wanted to say something, but he didn't say it. The sentence just now is undoubtedly that he broke his own foot. Cloud Dance looks at the red fire dragon's shriveled appearance, slightly droops her eyes, and then looks at the forbidden area. What do you feel when you look at the place where you have lived for hundreds of years turning into nothingness? Red fire dragon looks at the forbidden area with the eyes of Cloud Dance, and the taste of being imprisoned immediately rushes to his heart. Think about the fact that the 8th prince of Tang Tang Long has been imprisoned for 100 years. How can he get a foothold? What other face appears in the dragon clan? It's hard to look back. However, although he had been imprisoned in Yunfu for 100 years, he was only imprisoned and did not suffer any humiliation. When he thought about the humiliation he had suffered in the past few days, it would be a thorn in his heart forever. Yes, hundreds of years of imprisonment are not as humiliating as they have been in just a few days. Shengguanzhong, the humiliation you made me suffer will be long in the future, and will be paid back thousands of times in the future. Red Fire Dragon Heart Ruthless Belly Fei. By the way, I just heard that you are looking for 5 elements. Red Fire Dragon draws back the line of sight, looking at Cloud Dance to ask away. Cloud Dance slightly jaw head, a trace of doubt in the eyes. You know. The Red Fire Dragon pondered for a while and said, the light of ancient times has always existed in the dragon people, which is a legend of the dragon people for thousands of years. Just in the contract ring, he heard the conversation between Yunwu and Meng Bai. He knew that the destruction of the Beast Gate needed ancient light. Then he remembered that he had heard the legend of ancient light in the Dragon clan. Dragon? Cloud Dance eyes color flash, ancient light in the dragon. No wonder she hasn't even heard of it. It turns out that she has been hiding in the dragon tribe. No wonder no one can find it. Since you have heard of it, do you know what the ancient light is? The Red Fire Dragon shook his head. The legend of ancient light has always existed. The dragon people probably spread a false message, saying that ordinary people can get the power of ancient light and become immortal directly, but no one knows what it is. Can it be immortal? Cloud Dance's mouth raised a touch of ironic smile, really enough self-deception. The light of ancient times is just a cluster of light left in the upper world when the divine world was in chaos in ancient times. It is not so much a cluster of light as a cluster of terrible power. Dragon Qingxia sits beside Cloud Dance, looks at Cloud Dance's evil spirit and says with a smile. And his evil expression seems to be saying, is it more worship for husband? The Cloud Dance is speechless. How do you know so well? The Red Fire Dragon looks at the dragon suspiciously. How could he know the legend of the dragon? Long Qingxia glanced at him lazily, but didn't answer. Instead, he put his chin on Yunwu's shoulder and said, Weifu knows that under his background, Weifu's position in your heart is more stable. This man does not want to answer that question. At this time, Meng Bai, who had been in a petrified state, did not know when he had appeared. How about looking for the light of ancient times when the Beast Gate is frustrated? Meng Bai looks at Cloud Dance to propose a way. Yunwu thought for a while, but didn't agree soon. When the Red Fire Dragon heard that he was going back to the Dragon clan, his eyes sank and seemed to resist. Because of this subtle expression, Yunwu didn't reply Meng Bai quickly. Red Fire Dragon inadvertently glances at Yunwu and stares at him. For a moment, Red Fire Dragon sees the doubts and questions in Yunwu's eyes. He drops his eyes and ponders for a while. I was injured in the First World War of Beast Gate. Now there is no Dragon Ball. I can only go back to the Dragon clan to repair it. This sentence gives Cloud Dance an answer. Let's look for the ancient light first. Without waiting for Yunwu to speak, Long Qingxia agrees with Meng Bai's proposal. Long Qingxia agreed, which means Cloud Dance acquiesced. Cloud Dance glanced at the dragon on her shoulder, and there was a doubt in the bottom of her eyes. This guy is a bit abnormal. Usually he will wait for her to answer. When she goes, he will go. He will never take her advice and decide for her. What's the matter today? No longer thinking about it, Yunwu takes back her gaze and looks at Meng Bai. Before that, I'll go to several places. You'll be free for 3 days. I'll see you here in 3 days. What Long Qingxia is thinking, she can vaguely understand, but is not willing to think more. His starting point is always thinking for her, as long as he understands that he is a man who can entrust everything. Moreover, it is imperative to find the ancient light. I'll see you in 3 days. The voice falls in, Meng Bai has already gone away, faintly can see his back to Cloud Wave. Cloud Dance takes back the sight in the distance, raises the eye to see Red Fire Dragon, that dragon 8 princes, finally get free, change back to human form. Don't go to carefree. Carefree is not a pity. Red Fire Dragon smell speech, eye color is suffused with joyful light. He has a contract with Yunwu. Without Yunwu's words, he doesn't dare to leave without permission. Now that Yunwu has spoken, he is naturally very happy. Well, I'm not rare. Red Fire Dragon cold hum a, swept Cloud Dance and Dragon to pour evil a circle way, you continue to love, I look for meat to eat. At the end of the speech, the cloud dance felt the sight flash, and when the focus came back, it could only feel a gust of wind passing by. This is right and wrong, speak arrogantly, don't please the tone of people have to change, otherwise White has a handsome young man's appearance. Suddenly, she felt some moist feeling in her neck. She looked down and saw that someone was biting her shamelessly. Cloud dance face a black, low roar. Long Qing Xia, are you a dog? Only if I chew your bone, I won't starve to death. Someone didn't care about the cold sullen eyes and continued to move. I have few bones, but there are many on the ground. I'll eat you for my husband's sake. In order not to be starved to death, I'll leave no bones left for my husband. After Meng Bai and Red Fire Dragon leave, Yunwu and Dragon find a guest room nearby to stay. Yunwu tells Long Qingxie that she is going to do something and asks him to wait for her in the inn. It's strange that Long Qingxie didn't say that he wanted to go with her this time, and didn't ask where she was going. On the contrary, he agreed happily, which made Yunwu suspicious. Do you plan to return to Longshu these days? Yunwu looks at the dragon who is lazy and comfortable drinking tea. Long Qingxie casts a wink at Yunwu, and the evil spirit says, guess right, there's a reward for your husband. When can this man have a serious personality? Pretend to be mysterious. The cloud dances to return him a cold look, get up to leave. When she passed by Long Qingxie, she stepped on his foot. Listening to the comfortable murmur, she disappeared in the inn. Long Qingxie looks at the figure that cloud dance leaves, helplessly shakes his head, be careful. After Yunwu left the inn, Long Qingxie also left and rushed to Longzuguo. However, when Yunwu went to work, he went to the so-called Imperial Palace. First the remains of the Yun family must be collected. The Cloud family has been destroyed for so many days, the people in the whole Imperial City can't be unaware, and Zhou Batian in the Imperial Palace can't be unaware. She doesn't care what Zhou Batian is afraid of. The Cloud family is destroyed in his territory. If she doesn't anger him, she will give him face. Not surprisingly, when Cloud Dance appeared in front of Zhou Batian, Zhou Baishan's fear in her eyes was obvious. Obviously, in the last war between Zhou dynasty and Longshu state, they were shocked by the strength of Yunwu. However, Yunwu is not in the mood to play tricks with him at this time. After he destroyed a palace with his bare hands, he immediately asked him to send someone to bury his family. In this world where the strong are respected, everything is empty, and strength is the strength of command. One move to destroy a palace was enough to shock Zhou Batian and the whole palace. After that, in the eyes of countless shock and fear, Yunwu left. The fate of the Cloud family was also properly buried on this day. Is the night silent, especially quiet? Suburban woods. In the quiet woods, the breeze is whispering, and occasionally a few insect sounds pass by. Suddenly a shadow fell, and the quiet woods became lively. At the moment, number 100, who had been hiding in the woods, was still asleep. Hearing this, he awoke alert. Bai Qingshui and Ling Xian look at each other and nod at the same time. Suddenly, the figure of white water disappeared in the dark woods. Who? A voice as cold as a ghost. The next second, his figure has appeared behind Yunwu. Under the night, the Cloud dances to smell speech to pull open to put on a smile, looking back to see, although haven't seen for a long time, really don't know? After seeing clearly that it was Cloud dance, Bai Qingshui's cold face was softened, and then he lowered his head. Master. Cloud dance tiny nods, swept behind one eye, other people, still don't come out. At the end of the speech, there was a slight sound in the woods. In a short time, 110 people gathered in neat rows, which was very powerful in the moonlight. Master. The sound of Qi Shu Shu resounded through the quiet woods. Cloud danced slightly jaw-head, walked a circle among the people, looked more and more dark. Although they were not seriously injured in front of them, almost everyone hung the color, and their breath had not yet been adjusted. There are obviously fewer people. It seems that people have been lost in this war. The power of Pei Hongmen should not be underestimated. If we deal with the Beast Gate, her current strength is not good, and their strength also needs to be greatly improved. This is the strength of the people in the upper world. It's so hard to deal with only one Thundergate. How can you conquer the whole world? You can't do it with your current strength. Next, you can repair and cultivate here. If the place is not suitable, you can find your own place. I hope when I come back again, you can fight against the Beast Gate. Yes, Master. After dissolving all the people, Yunwu left by Qingshui alone, making Xiantian and Gaoyu. This is the elixir I got in the upper world. It can help them cultivate. Cloud Dance Subspace takes out the elixir and gives it to Gaoyu. Then he looked at Bai Qingshui and Ling Xiantian and handed them a book in his hand. It's the secret of controlling power. The primary level is enough for them. How can she tell them that she can't understand the advanced level with her current strength? Bai Qingshui and Ling Xiantian nodded. Their current strength, even if they can only learn the method of primary control, will also have a great effect. And the power of pills is not limited to this, just need them to dredge the power of pills in the body, completely attributed to emergency. With this secret script, there will be no useless power in the body. As for Yunwu, the power of the magic bite in her body is too strong. If you want to control the magic bite in her body, the primary and intermediate methods of the secret script can't control it. You can only use the advanced methods to control it. It's a pity that she hasn't understood the secret yet. But now she still has something important to do. Let's give it to them first and make the best use of it. Next, I have other things to do. They will give them to the three of you. I will send them pills regularly, and you can take them by yourself. Looking at the three, Yunwu has a firm trust in his eyes. The three of them led the soldiers. She was very relieved. She looked forward to seeing them next time for greater progress. Yes. The three spoke in unison. Yunwu nodded. I don't know if it's still early, but he gave them a night run of tens of kilometers. He said it was tens of kilometers. I didn't know how many times he had run back and forth. Don't use strength, can only run, this can let them some can't bear. It wasn't until it was light that Cloud Dance said that they could have a rest, and people were wailing. Looking at the people lying on the ground one after another, Cloud Dancing, mouth slightly hook, disappeared in the woods. With them, she seems to see the scene of her modern life. Cloud Dance walking on the road, low head, all the way thinking, I do not know what to think. Suddenly, a fast horse appeared at the corner of the intersection. People in front, get out of the way. A hormone roar interrupted Yunwu's thoughts. The Cloud dances to smell speech to lift eyes, the fast horse is close at hand, she of flash body and fast horse pass by. If it's a second late, it's estimated that it will be kicked by the horse's hooves and crushed alive. In Cloud Dance with sullen displeasure, in touch with that person's face, eyes color slightly changed. Zhou Tianyu. She saw him, but he was in a hurry and didn't look at her. How did he show up at the border of Longzuguo? Did something happen? In his spare time, Yunwu calls out Jinling and catches up with him. About half an hour later, Zhou Tianyu finally stopped in front of an inn. Yunwu looks at the inn and frowns slightly. The prince of the Zhou dynasty came to the inn of Longzuguo. It's a matter of big or small. All the people who come here are here. She really wants to see the people who can let the prince of Zhou take the risk to come here. Let's go in and have a look. Entering the inn, Yunwu saw Zhou Tianyu walking directly to the second floor. When she followed Zhou Tianyu to the second floor and saw the two people sitting beside him, she looked a little abnormal. Because she saw two people who shouldn't have met each other sitting at a table talking. Zhou Feiyu and Meng Bai. How did they get together? Seeing that Zhou Tianyu and Zhou Feiyu said a few words, his face was a little angry. After a while, he got up and left angrily, leaving only Zhou Feiyu and Meng Bai on the table. Cloud Dance Fundus doubts, what did Zhou Feiyu say to make Zhou Tianyu so angry? How can you use the teleport array? Meng Bai looks at Zhou Feiyu with some doubts. Zhou Feiyu looked out of the window and looked back. Is she out of danger? Meng Bai nodded. It's safe, but I don't understand. Since you can use the teleportation array, why don't you rescue her yourself? He has been very puzzled. When he entered the beast gate, he just gave him the teleportation array that was ready to go, but he left. Why didn't he leave together? Yunwu leans back to them, sips tea, and listens to their conversation with a complicated look. It turned out that he also went to the upper boundary and secretly participated in the Battle of the Beast Gate. But she didn't expect that he was the one who saved her and the dragon. So why did he leave? Zhou Feiyu said with an awe-inspiring smile, the chance to save the woman I like, how can I give it to other people? You didn't give me the chance. Meng Bai roared. Did you treat him as a fool? That transmission array has been designed for a long time. It can be used only by exciting the transmission array. So you're not the one who uses the teleport? Meng Bai was surprised, and his voice became louder. So he's just the third one to take over the teleport. Who designed the transmission array? He really wanted to know who was the first to use it. Not only he wants to know, Yunwu is also waiting to listen to Zhou Feiyu's answer. She has read the secret script of the teleportation array given to her by Long Qingxie. The essence of the teleportation array is human power. Through the incomprehensible characters on the secret script of the teleportation array, she can stimulate the limit of that power. The maximum limit power can run through the whole space, and the time is only a moment. But everyone's power is inspired by different incantations. This heavenly book records the incantations inspired by different forces of different people. However, the person who can understand these astronomical figures is estimated not to be born. That's why he didn't understand the dragon's heresy. But how can the person who can use the transmission array understand these words? However, Zhou Feiyu's next sentence, but let cloud dance suddenly Zhengleng. There's no one but him. Zhou Feiyu's sharp eyes narrowed slightly and drank all the tea in his hand, but his tone was inexplicably bitter. Who is he? Meng Bai asked. At the moment, Yunwu can no longer hear the conversation between them. He. Cloud danced Xingleng for a long time, it seems to come back to God. That damned man. Just one of them, Yunwu guessed who it was and didn't know whether to be depressed or to smile bitterly. That man, always behind to do something to make her surprised but warm. However, since he has made the teleportation array, why should he fight for the life of Shengguansheng? Isn't it playing with your life? But soon, Yunwu could not help sighing. Is he afraid that if the teleportation array fails, she will be in danger, so he plans to do double insurance? Yes, the teleport array that no one has used for hundreds of years. It's the first time he uses it. Even if he is confident, he will be very careful when her life is in danger. But it's really stupid. Cloud Dance droops a smile, the Mao color is soft and warm, I don't know how to feel a sour nose. Next time I see Long Qingxie, please give me a word. If she is in any fatal danger, I will give up everything and guard her every step of the way. Zhou Feiyu's eyes flashed a touch of complexity, got up and left, leaving Meng Bai alone to meditate on his words. Is the person who uses the teleportation array Dragon Qingxie? Meng Bai suddenly slapped the table and stood up. No wonder he has the secret script of teleportation array, but how can he use teleportation array? This teleportation array has been lost for hundreds of years. Even if you have a secret script, you can't learn it. Yunwu heard him talking to himself, stood up and left. His question was exactly what she wanted to ask. This man is always too mysterious to peel the veil. After walking out of the inn, Yunwu finds that Zhou Tianyu has not left, but is waiting for Zhou Feiyu outside the inn. Listening to their conversation, it seems that there is something wrong with the minister of the Zhou dynasty. If you guessed correctly, it should be Zhou Tianyu's people who were caught by Zhou Feiyu's people. Otherwise, Zhou Tianyu would not come here to find Zhou Feiyu. Cloud Dance sneers. When did Zhou Tianyu become so dull and go to the doctor in a hurry? Zhou Feiyu has been planning for such a long time. No matter what the reason, it is impossible to give up fighting for the Zhou dynasty. There was no point in hearing their conversation, so Yunwu stopped, disappeared in the inn and went to the college. After this conversation, Zhou Feiyu will definitely return to the Zhou dynasty, not because of Zhou Tianyu's painstaking words, but to speed up the seriousness of the matter and speed up the acquisition of the Zhou dynasty. It seems that the Zhou dynasty will soon be his world, but these really seem to have nothing to do with her. When he came to the front door of the college, Yunwu looked at the door, pondered for a moment, turned and left. She still thinks it's easy to do things at night, find a place to rest while it's still early. After so long, it seems that she hasn't slept a few nights. The stars were shining and the night was cool. The woman in purple who was lying on the grass finally woke up. Cloud Dance stretched, looking at the starry night sky, deep cry, the moon is good. Then she got up and walked in the direction of the college. In the quiet outer college, the lights are bright, and everywhere is full of spiritual power. A dark figure flits over the sky in an instant. In the blink of an eye, it has come to the cliff. Looking at the outside college, the cloud dances and the corners of the mouth are slightly raised. After visiting the pharmacist elder, maybe she should also visit the Dean Chi Mo. Chi Yis and Chi Mo are actually the same surname, which makes her have to have an association. No matter whether there is a relationship between them, we need to check to remove the doubt. Taking back her eyes, she looked at the towering cliff, hummed a smile, and then went straight up in the air. When I first entered the internal college, I still needed something to help me get up, but now it's so easy. As expected, strength is the capital that despises everything. But now her strength is very high in the human world, but she still can't stretch her hands and feet in the upper world, so she must constantly become stronger and improve her strength. Until, can fearlessly despise the sky that moment. After sneaking into the inner college, Yunwu didn't sneak. Instead, she walked in the medicine garden and headed for the old pharmacist's cabin. This time, I came back to let the elder pharmacist continue to help refine some pills for elite troops and killer regiments. Kowtow, kowtow. There was a knock on the door. At the moment, the elder pharmacist is developing pills. He is stunned when he hears someone knocking at the door. When is there such a master in inner college? He can't feel the breath of the other side. Thinking about this, he put down half of the pills in his hand and went to open the door. When he opened the door of the wooden house and saw the clouds dancing, his puzzled look turned into joy. Girl, how did you come back? Cloud dance willow eyebrow tiny pick, light way A, how, not welcome. You are the best student in the college. It's an honor for the college to come back. The pharmacist elder quickly let Yunwu into the room and tidied up the pills he ordered. Her participation in the Three Kingdoms competition caused a sensation in the whole mainland of China, and the Xinhuang Samurai Academy was even more famous in the mainland of China. This year, there are twice as many people participating in the primary examination as in previous years, and most of them are in the name of the summoner students, and now the girl's strength is almost unfathomable, plus the power of magic bite in her body. If all the power of magic bite is used by her, I'm afraid very few people are her opponents. At that time, I'm afraid it will be very terrible. What can I do for you when you come back this time? The pharmacist elder said directly. Being exposed by the pharmacist elder on the spot, Yunwu was not embarrassed. Instead, he said directly, I want to ask the elder to continue to develop some pills for the elite troops. I know you'll never come back until you're okay. The elder pharmacist snorted, where have you been for so long? Looking at the rapid progress of Cloud Dance, the elder pharmacist is more or less curious and respectful. Although I know that Cloud Dance has a better chance than ordinary people, and is gifted, I can't help but want to hear it. Just a trip to the upper bound. She seemed helpless between her words. You went to the upper boundary? The pharmacist elder opened his eyes and looked at the Cloud Dance with astonishment. In fact, not everyone in the lower world knows the place of the upper world, but it is the place that the strong people in the lower world yearn for. This girl actually went to the upper boundary. And it's really incredible that we can also upgrade our strength to such a level. Is this girl really the King of Kings? The pharmacist elder nodded and affirmed the idea. Yes, can you agree to ask the elder for help just now? Yunwoo's eyes narrowed, and she knew the old man's surprise very well. But how could she tell him that now she can't go to the upper bound? Don't worry. I'll take care of this. However, your killer regiment and elite troops don't seem to be in the previous position. How can I give them the pills in the future? Don't worry, they will come by themselves. During this period of time, no matter the killer's regiment or the elite troops, their positions can't be exposed. This doesn't mean that they don't trust the pharmacist elders, but it's the most basic means to protect their lives. The elder pharmacist was stunned. They find it themselves. This is the inner college. How can I get to this girl? It's like a vegetable market where anyone can come. However, seeing Yunwoo's not joking look, it was obvious that she was not joking. Those people will come to us. Because of this affirmation, the elder pharmacist couldn't help tightening his mind. This girl must be famous in the future. No one can stop her. Maybe she can create a miracle that no one created thousands of years ago. Cloud danced looking at pharmacist elder. Dan, medicine matter please you? The elder pharmacist nodded and then said, don't leave today. Tomorrow, I will contact with the new people in the college. They all dream of meeting you. Cloud Dance pondered for a while. Rare did not refuse, slightly jaw-head. Okay, then I go to see the dean first. Well, it's almost dawn. Don't go too long. Cloud Dance jaw-head, then swept away from the cabin. That speed simply can't catch. Under the hazy night, the pharmacist elder looked at the disappeared figure and sighed. This girl is really not in the pool. Where on earth can she really stay? I'm afraid not yet. When I came to the foreign college, the sky was already gray, and it was about to be bright. There were already some people walking around in the foreign college. In order not to add trouble, she crossed everyone and went directly to Chimo's residence. When Yunwoo comes to Chimo's residence, Chimo is meditating in the yard. He opens his eyes when he hears someone's footsteps coming. When he touches the face of Yunwoo, his face changes slightly. Good morning, Dean Chi. Cloud waved to Chi-Mo. Chi-Mo stands up and looks at Cloud Dance. How did you come back? He can't feel her strength anymore. Has she improved? There's something bothering me for a long time. I want to ask you. Cloud Dance's mouth slightly yawned, showing a touch of fine Mang smile. Chi-Mo looks at the smile of the corner of her mouth slightly lose consciousness. This smile and her mother was too much like, although her mother gives a gentle feeling, but in fact it is also with a little calculation, a little ridicule, a little bad intentions. Yunwoo naturally noticed the soft feeling in his eyes, frowning slightly. What's that expression? Chi-Mo a smile cover up just now of state of affairs way, have what problem to ask? Yunwoo nodded suspiciously. There is something wrong with this man. Have you heard the name of Chi-Yi's? When Chi-Mo heard Chi-Yi's name, his smiling face suddenly solidified. He stared at the cloud and said, how do you know her? Cloud Dance smile, as expected he guessed, between these two people really have a relationship. She's mine now, well, a friend. What's your relationship with her? Is that your daughter? Yunwoo's mouth keeps rising. It seems that she has revealed the romantic past of the mysterious President Chi-Mo smell speech, face slightly a change, and then said, she was abandoned since childhood, I took her, and then she grew up and went back. You mean? Cloud Dance slightly frowned, did not expect the result of things is like this. She only knew that Chi-Yi seemed to be the eldest lady of a certain family in the upper world. As for what family she was in, she had no idea about her experience. Of course, the time to know her, to be honest, is too short. If she was once abandoned, she would never go back because of her personality, but now she is fully integrated into the family and has her own power. It seems that there must be some reason behind her that she must go back. It's estimated that Nangong Yi will know something about all this, right? How is she doing now? Chi Mo looks at Cloud Dance Wei. It's not bad. I'm not inferior in strength. I'm far more powerful in the upper world than I am. She does not know whether the former is true or not, but the latter is definitely true. Chi Mo Wen Yen nods. It seems that she has achieved her goal. What's the purpose? Cloud Dance looking at Chi Mo, still feel can know in other people's home, don't ask Chi Knight. It's not convenient for me to tell you. Since you are her friend, let her tell you by herself. Cloud Dance in the heart rolled a few white eyes, but also didn't say what, this is Chi Yi's private affair after all. Well, I'll go after the questions. Cloud waved to Chi Mo. Chi Mo looks at Cloud Dance to leave, Mao color low for a while, want to say what desire to say and stop, finally said out, do you know the matter of Cloud House? Cloud Dance suddenly stops, back to Chi Mo slightly jaw head. Chi Mo Wei Zheng, did not expect that she already knew, who else is alive? Cloud Dance willow eyebrow tiny Cu, when did he begin to pay attention to the trend of Cloud Mansion? Is it none of your business? Cloud Dance looks back, looks indifferent. Chi Mo looks at Cloud Dance, silent sigh, your mother loves your father, this matter anyway also can't let her know. Oh. Cloud Dance sneers, the corner of the mouth more layer of cold, the original point here. Is it someone who once had something to do with her mother? It's not a matter for the dean to worry about. Besides, he's just missing. He's not dead. Yunwu looks at him indifferently. She didn't believe that the corpse she saw in the forbidden area was Yunlingyi from the beginning to the end. But that day she heard from that Lei Li that Yunlingyi's body had been thrown to the cliff. Therefore, she did not know whether Yunlingyi was dead or alive. Then I'm relieved. Chi Mo looks complex, turned into the room. In a word, you can rest assured. It's more like an infatuated man giving up his true love. When her mother was young, the peach blossom chaos was really enough. There were people who knew her everywhere. It's just that she didn't think that she was not the same, peach blossom flooding. After leaving the outer college, Yunwu went back to the inner college directly. Because I promised the pharmacist elder to see the new students from the college. At the moment, the pharmacist elder is talking to several students, which means that she is coming. Yunwu is standing in a remote corner of the crowd, extremely inconspicuous. Because the inner college is large, and there are many new students, many of them have never met each other, so even if no one has seen Cloud Dance, no one is surprised. Elder, we've heard about her reputation for a long time. When can I meet you? It's amazing. Is it really that powerful? Well, I've been thinking about meeting her for a long time. Cloud Dance listened to dozens of people, you a word I a word, mouth slightly pull, how feel like back to the college when? The pharmacist elder just wanted to say something, but he found Cloud Dancing figure in the corner of the crowd. His face turned black and he said angrily to the crowd, shut up, be careful to be cleaned up. Yes, be careful. Walls have ears. At this time, the elder also spoke. When Yunwu first appeared in the crowd, he found Yunwu. Did not expect this wench, strength unexpectedly strong so many. Well, why hasn't she come yet? One of the students was arrogant and looked around. It seemed that he was not comfortable with Yunwu. Cloud Dance a shallow smile, looking at that humanity, talk so crazy, don't know how ability. The man heard Yunwu's slightly provocative voice, glanced at Yunwu and hummed coldly, just try, but you are a student of the college? After hearing their conversation, they all look back at Yunwu. At that moment, I felt a shock in my heart, a kind of unspeakable cold and oppressive feeling, as if the smile at the corner of her mouth was enough to frighten others. The students in the college are all wearing school uniforms, while Yunwu is wearing her own clothes. That's why that person would ask Yunwu such a question, but when she and Long Qingxie were students in the college, they didn't seem to comply with the rules of the college to wear uniforms, yes. Cloud Dance indifferent smile, she is really the last students. Well, let's do it. Suddenly, a long sword appeared in the man's hand, and his breath suddenly rose. Ha, you don't need a hand to play so much. A student looked at the man and exclaimed. Are you going to take out 100% of your strength as soon as you make a move? The man didn't answer. Maybe he can understand that there are not many people he feels now. He can feel the powerful and unpredictable power from Yunwu. And such a person against the war, in order to let his strength to a higher level. Great martial arts master's peak strength. Cloud Dance nods with admiration. The strength is really good. Then I'll be more respectful than obedient. This seems to answer the man, but her eyes glanced at the pharmacist elder not far away. The elder pharmacist's face changed slightly after hearing her words. But quickly hide it, Chaoyun Dance smile and nod, also should let these impetuous boys suffer, know that there is someone outside. Then he always to the man, white eyebrow a horizontal, can't help but remind him, Qing Yun, don't look down on the opponent. His talent is very high, but he is too arrogant, I don't know whether it is good or bad. The man named Qing Yun frowned slightly when he heard the elder pharmacist's words. He seemed to think he was too wordy. The next second, a touch of blue fighting spirit came to the clouds. Behind the fighting spirit was a long sword with the power to pierce everything. The crowd looked at Qing Yun and then hung up. For a while, they looked at Yunwu with some sympathy. Is this a chance not to fight back? In the crowd, there were 3 other people who were waiting to see a good play, but they could see blue clouds. Ling Feng, Wu Xian and Xiao Zhu. Before Cloud Dance's strength, they knew it best, but after going out for so long, her strength might be more unfathomable, right? Bang! In the crowd's hiss, a sudden dull sound came out. All of a sudden, the whole square was quiet. For a moment, there was no breath. Why, how is that possible? Unbelievable surprise broke the silence at the moment. The crowd looked at Qing Yun, who had fallen to the ground and struggled a few times, but still didn't stand up. They were tongue-tied. He didn't even catch her when she shot. He stand up even after being beaten? Just now, they just felt the darkness in front of them. In the blink of an eye, they heard a loud noise. After opening their eyes, they saw the scene in front of them. How is that possible? How can her speed be so fast? How can her strength be so strong? This at this moment, they can be sure that this woman is not a student of inner college. Who the hell are you? Qing Yun's eyes are angry, and a frustrated blow hits the ground. He is the top strength of a great martial arts master. How can he? The elder pharmacist and the elder pagoda looked at the Cloud Dance with a look of meditation. She just used the power of magic bite. Once the power of magic bite appears, it will be out of control, destroying heaven and earth. Has this girl controlled magic bite? It's a good thing that the elder pharmacist nodded to herself and handed the magic bite to her. However, just now it seems that there is no smell of magic bite. Anyway, the strength of this girl has surpassed him. She was a student of the last year's inner college. Her surname is Yunming Dance. Looking at the Cloud Dance, Ling Feng's horror is faintly visible. Her strength is so strange and unpredictable, has reached such a high level. Hearing Ling Feng's words, they consciously let go of a gap and looked at the Cloud Dance with a dazed look. She is the legendary Cloud Dance. Ling Feng and Xiao Zhu look at Yunwu and walk towards her. Cloud Dance looked at the 3 people, explored their strength, and nodded with satisfaction. In the middle of Wuxing period, the progress was very fast. But she felt a force in her unconscious body, and the force itself had exceeded his own martial saint. When did he have the extra force? You say she is Cloud Dance? No wonder you can beat the top of the freshman down with a single blow. It seems that her strength is as strong as the rumor. Everyone's eyes looked at the Cloud Dance together, the drama abuse on their faces has disappeared, replaced by surprise and fear. With a kind of shock and admiration rising from the bottom of my heart. Haven't you 3 graduated yet? Cloud Dance ignores the eyes of people's direction, looking at Ling Feng. 3 people, the corners of the mouth are smiling. You've come at the right time. Today is the day we leave the college. Ling Feng looked at the Cloud Dance and raised a brilliant smile. Wu Xian nodded the same as Xiao Zhu. Cloud Dance willow eyebrow tiny pick, it seems that she really came at the right time. Congratulations. Looking at 3 people, Cloud Dance rare raised the corner of the mouth to smile. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to practice and let me enter the cultivation tower. Ling Feng, with a mysterious smile, approached Yunwu for a few steps and whispered, of course, there is the martial arts book. At the beginning, several elders found that the martial arts books of the library were missing. Pity Ah Huan was miserable. He was bombarded by several elders and taught a lesson. Later, I don't know what Pity Ah Huan said to the elder. The elder just let him go. Otherwise, it would be enough for him. Remembering the feeling when he couldn't enter the cultivation tower at the beginning, he still remembers the taste. Now he can have this strength, which is something he didn't dare to think about at the beginning. Don't thank me. I don't need opportunities. Your own efforts. Cloud Dance mouth slightly pick, he can have today's strength, not all by his own efforts. Ling Fengwei pursed the corner of his mouth and nodded. He didn't know what to say, so he didn't say anything. Some thanks, say once is enough, the rest, perhaps need to take life to thank. Where are you going to experience? Ling Feng shakes his head, I don't know yet, where I go is where I go. Xiao Zhu then nodded and said with a smile, next time we meet, I hope we can catch up with you. I'll see. Cloud Dance tiny pick eyebrow, just like a smile, then looked to have no intention, where are you going? Unintentionally shrugged, I don't know. Maybe I'll do something first. Cloud Dance tiny jaw head, swept one eye to see her to be like to see the crowd of the beautiful thing, put the vision on the pharmacist elder body. For eyes meet and smile in return. After that, nothing was said. A sweep. In the twinkling of an eye, the Cloud Dance that just stood in front of the public has disappeared in the inner college. All that remained was the people who were stunned again. It's gone. So fast. It's worthy of the legendary character. I wish I could see her again. Looking at the instant disappearance of Cloud Dance, Qing Yun clenched his fists. One day, I will challenge you again. After leaving the college, Yunwu went directly to Longziguo. After returning to the state of Longxiu, Yunwu and Longqingxi meet. After explaining the runaway marriage to Long Yaozi, he asked Long Yaozi to keep the news of their return secret for the time being, and secretly left a message to Shengguan and them. The upper world is scattered. Long Qingxia and Yunwu don't worry about them. At least, Xiaomu is there. I believe they will come back soon. 3 days later. The 4 gathered in Yunfu at the appointed time and set foot on the road to the dragon tribe, together. For the location of the dragon, Cloud Dance is not clear. However, with the red fire dragon, it seems that there is no need to worry too much about this problem. The red fire dragon guides the way, and Jinling rushes all the way to the dragon. And the 4 of them sat on Jinling and enjoyed the sunshine. In a few days. How long will it take to get there? Meng Bai watched as Jinling reached the westernmost border of the Zhou dynasty and flew higher and higher. He wondered whether the dragon clan could live in the sky, soon. The red fire dragon looked at the Cloud Dance and said, the dragon is in another boundary space. Before entering the boundary space, there is another boundary. However, the boundary has the pressure of natural barrier. We dragon have no problem passing through, but human beings can't pass through. Cloud Dance heard speech, silent for a while, did not answer. Because at the same time, the tornado in her mind has shown her the information. Outside the human world, there is a lot of boundary space. The dragon nationality is one of the GG80, and there is also a Jijia outside the GG80. For thousands of years, almost no human beings have been able to pass through the border. Occasionally, some people try to pass through the border with their luck, and they all die under the natural barrier of the border. After getting the information of the tornado, Yunwu couldn't help wondering what the natural barrier of the border was formed. Why is there only one dead end after entering? Is it for the purpose of restricting human access? An hour later. Originally, Jinling, who was flying high in the sky, immediately began to gallop down. Soon, he came to an endless rocky mountain range. Looking around, he saw endless mountains, but there was no grass. This place is the border with the dragon people? After the cloud dance landed, I couldn't help but scan my eyes. I couldn't see any obstacles around. After a long time, I couldn't see anything different. However, he took a few steps forward unconsciously. All of a sudden force rebounded and suddenly attacked Yunwu. Be careful. Not far ahead is the natural barrier. Red Fire Dragon's lazy voice came. Cloud Dance done steps, can't help but frown at the eyes. Just now, it is clear that there is no different feeling, but at this time, Yunwu clearly feels the power of the border. At this moment, it seems that there is no need to explore, you can clearly feel that the natural barrier of the border has obvious repulsion to human beings. If forced to enter, it is estimated that it will be backfired by the pressure in the natural barrier. But, I don't know why, Yunwu always feels strange, just like there is something in the border, but she can't get close to it to be sure. Is it true that no one has been able to pass the boundary for thousands of years? Mengbai felt a strong force in the border, which was almost exclusive of his power. Just close to the exclusion, then if it is to enter. Don't you just crush him? He's not human, but he's still rejected. No wonder there's no grass around him. The Red Fire Dragon glanced at the transparent boundary, which was like the barrier of the sky. A dark undercurrent flashed through the bottom of his eyes. But it soon disappeared. Silence for a moment. The Red Fire Dragon, who has always been loud, seems to be languid since it came to this area. It's said that the natural barrier has a strong pressure, which can't be borne by ordinary people except us dragon people. Mengbai smells speech, immediately some want to roll the impulse of the eye. So if he brings them here and can't get in, isn't he blind? Is it hard for them to spend several days rushing here, and then they can't go back the same way? Mengbai thought of this, subconsciously glanced at Yunwu. It's impossible. Now that this woman knows that the ancient light may be in the dragon tribe, let alone the front is just a natural barrier. Even if Shengwen's Hong is in the way, she will never turn back in vain. I don't think you can stop this woman's step. I don't know why, Mingming just get along with this cloud dance for the second time, but Mengbai is very sure in his heart. Even Mengbai understood this, how could Red Fire Dragon you not know the nature of Baiyun dance? That's why he said it directly. But I have a way, but I don't know what to do. Red Fire Dragon suddenly way. Cloud Dance picks eyebrows with Dragon Qing Xia and looks at him, as if waiting for him to say the following. Red Fire Dragon suddenly glanced at Mengbai, isn't he a mouse? Since it's hard to pass up, maybe we can try underground. What? Underground? Is he trying to get him to go underground? What do you mean? I'm a snow rat, not the lowly gopher. Go ahead. If you want to make a hole, do it yourself. Mengbai swept the red dragon with a white eye. Although he is a rat, he is the most noble snow rat, not the low-blood hamster. He let him make a hole, but it was a bit insulting to his blood. If you are not snow rat, I don't bother to call you. Do you think the ground squirrel can pierce this kind of rock ground? Red Fire Dragon also some hot temper up. Mengbai wanted to speak, but he couldn't. Indeed, although the hamster is good at drilling, it is absolutely impossible to pierce the rock. However, let him make a hole in front of the dragon, didn't it make his identity short? How can he show off in front of him in the future? Mengbai was a very proud rat, which really depressed him. Cloud danced with Dragon Qing evil, but at this time did not open half a word. Even if Mengbai refuses, it is estimated that Yunwu and Longqingxi will not say a word. A moment of silence. Mangbai still glanced at the red fire dragon discontentedly, but he didn't have a good way. This time, I'm looking at the face of Cloud Dance. You get out of my way. This time, Red Dragon was obedient and stepped back. Yunwu and Longqingxi look at each other, and then they step back. Mangbai then turned around. Suddenly, a white light bloomed on him. Ha! Light scattered, only to see just Mangbai standing position, is a snow-white fluffy fat white mouse. However, this time is not as cute as the little Q seen in the last Cloud Dance. This time, Mangbai's original shape is as big as an adult Amur tiger. It's not as cute as the Q version, but it's more powerful and cute. It's not up to one to pick an eyebrow. Mangbai didn't like others to stare at the large shape. When the original shape changed, he immediately put up his forelimb claws under the white hair and dug toward the rock very quickly. Kaka kaka. The sharp and piercing sound of digging canal suddenly rang out. I saw that the original hard rock, under the claw, was like a sponge, which was chiseled into gravel and dug open. Hua hua. The gravel flew out all around, and the hole in the ground became deeper and deeper. After a while, the white mouse disappeared. It's been a long time. There was no gravel splashing out of the cave. In the cave, it was too deep to see the bottom. If it wasn't for the sound of digging under the cave, I thought Mangbai had gone away by himself. Well, mouse, is it deep enough? If it's deep enough, dig inside. Don't dig deep all the time. Red Fire Dragon listened to that more and more deep, can't hear the sound of digging, finally can't help but pull up the big voice toward the black hole roar. The sound in the bottom hole is echoed by waves. As if half a day later, it came to Mangbai's ears, who had no idea how deep he had dug. You dead ex-dragon, do you mean to fool me? I'm going to dig into the area of Dian, or the boundary. Deep in the cave, after a long time, there was a roar that seemed to be extremely patient and angry. Have you reached the area of Dian? Isn't that about to enter the range above the Earth's core? How deep is that? On the ground of the Cloud Dance smell speech, the bottom of my heart cannot help but flash a touch of consternation and surprise. In addition to the amazement that the natural barrier actually extended to the bottom of the Earth, there was also the surprise that Mangbai had dug to the depth of the Earth. I thought that Mangbai's arrogance was due to his natural disposition. But now, it's estimated that Mangbai is really the high-level blood of the rat race. Boom. Suddenly, a strange earthquake wave came from deep underground. ZZ. Immediately, followed by a burst of ZZ sound of oil boiling pot. What's the matter? Yunwu frowned and wanted to get close to the cave. But the next moment, a white shadow suddenly emerged from the cave, accompanied by a hot temperature, accompanied by a smell of burnt barbecue. Damn, you dead ex-dragon, I was really killed by you today. The roar is accompanied by the pain of gnashing teeth. At the moment when Yunwu saw Mangbai's appearance, it almost instantly reacted. The water element suddenly condensed and quickly covered Mangbai with Mars. ZZ. This time, it was the sound of water pouring fire. Wait for the blue light to disappear. I can only see that the image of Mangbaina's powerful and cute big white mouse has been destroyed, and it's a bit miserable. The original Snow White hair, at this time, the whole body is burnt black, and the Snow White has become dark yellow, especially some hair is as if it was burned a few gaps. With the healing of water, the fire goes out and the burned wound heals. However, the damage of hair cannot be recovered by water. It's kind of funny. Red Fire Dragon is a leng at first, but then can't help laughing. Haha. Die ex-dragon, laugh fart. When Mangbai saw the destroyed hair on his body, he was about to vomit blood. Looking at the laughing Red Fire Dragon, he was so angry that his gum was about to bite off. However, the next second was a flash of white light, and the original shape of the white mouse turned into human shape. His clothes were like burnt rags, his hair was a little burnt, and the wound was gone. But his white hands seemed to leave a faint burnt scar. Perhaps Red Dragon also felt that it was immoral to laugh like this. When he saw his scarred hands, he stopped laughing. How can you be so embarrassed? Cloud Dance also frowns at him. How can you hurt so badly? Even if the healing of water element leaves scars, it can only show the severity of the wound. Dragon Ching evil at this time, evil spirit indifferent mouth, I'm afraid the ground is no way through. Of course, there's no way to pass. Only the stupid dragon can think of this way. If I didn't react quickly, I would have been scorched and crushed into pieces by the barrier just under the ground. Thinking that it was just deep in the cave, the underground temperature was too high to dig down, it tried to dig into the natural barrier. Can just dig a distance, directly hit the barrier range. After that, it was like Tianlei bumping into a mine, and almost didn't burn it to death. Thinking of it, Meng Bai couldn't help sweating. Does the natural barrier completely extend to the region of Dian, or even deeper? Red Fire Dragon rarely ignored his stupid dragon curse, but could not help silence. If you can't even get into the ground, what else can you do? It seems that Yunwu did not expect that the boundary of this natural barrier is so strange and powerful. But the light of ancient times was in the dragon tribe of Jijie. Did you give up like this? Cloud Dance frowns. Can peace second, Cloud Dance abrupt turn head, squint at the man beside the eye, don't you know transmission array? Let's use a teleport array. In fact, he didn't want to say it, and Yunwu didn't intend to expose him. But now there's really no way. Dragon Ching Xie's mouth is filled with a smile to pick eyebrows, this little thing is really more and more powerful, even that can know. Cloud Dance also looked at him with a smile, mouth slightly raised. However, the corners of her mouth were stained with a trace of Sunran, like saying, don't play with me, don't admit to pretending to be stupid, don't eat that. Looking at the lovely appearance of Cloud Dance staring at her, Long Qingxie reluctantly flicked her forehead, like punishment. This kind of silent interaction between them seems to have been tacit understanding for a long time. To tell you the truth, I don't quite understand the teleport array. It was a fluke to succeed last time. What he said was the fact that the last time he was not given the secret script of the transmission array by Xiaomu, and told him how to use it and the incantation of those words, he could not use it at all. With the help of Xiaomu, the last teleportation was completed. Xiaomu checked it for a long time before sending someone to use it just in case. However, he has read the secret script, and there are some incantations in it that he can't understand. Xiaomu didn't seem to explain to him. Now if he is allowed to complete the construction of the teleport array, he is not 100% sure. How sure? Half. Half is enough. Try it, or you can't help it. Anyway, you have to go in sooner or later. You have to die sooner or later. Cloud Dance is a rare free and easy smile. This sentence leads to a shudder and a few white eyes. But it was agreed by the other two people. If you want to destroy the Beast Gate, you'll have to take the risk sooner or later. What's more, even if they don't destroy the Beast Gate, it's estimated that the people of the Beast Gate won't let them live. Therefore, time for them are against the clock. Half the chance is good. Yes, it's better than letting me dig a hole in the ground. I almost got roasted. Dragon Ching Evil Gold Mao congealed Cloud Dance for a while, found that she did not have a trace of joking look, finally compromise, good, I try. He will follow the little thing's decision no matter what. What's more, it seems that this is the only way now. After hearing the words of Long Qingxie, the three people raised their lips slightly and stepped back together to make room for him. Next moment. In an instant, a black light flashed by, and the black haze around Long Qingxie's body enveloped him in the dark. Then he closed his golden eyes and his thin lips moved slightly, as if reading something. Dada. As time went by, the strength around his body began to turn into silver. An ancient pattern-like array was gradually deeply imprinted on the hard rock, and gradually began to build a transmission channel. Cloud Dance, three people looking at this strange scene, in the eyes all skim a touch of surprise. This is the transmission array. In that array, Long Qingxie, who was chanting a mantra to open up the channel, had sweat oozing from his forehead and lost his physical strength quickly. It seems that it takes a lot of energy to develop the array. Looking at the dragon, Cloud Dance can't help worrying. However, when the three were surprised, a silver force in the ancient pattern array suddenly pierced the border like Optimus Prime and went straight into it. That's the delivery channel. No time to let Cloud Dance 3 people think. The next second, 3 people were a powerful force into the transmission array. It's the same second we're in the transmission array. Long Qingxie's powerful long arm has already encircled Cloud Dance's waist. He always feels that the teleport array is not perfect, but he has tried his best. No matter what the result is, they must be together. Yunwu seemed to understand what he was worried about, so she hugged him in the same way. I believe you. In a word, it's very light, but with great trust. Long Qingxie's eyes are soft and evil spirit grins, but her hands around her waist are tighter. Next second, the silver light suddenly bloomed in the array, and the 4 figures disappeared in the transmission array on the rock. In the tunnel, the cylindrical silver transmission channel, like a protective layer that will not be destroyed, resists the oppression and edge brought by the border forces. The figure of the 4, as if surrounded by the silver light protection, is rapidly passing through the channel. Through the silver protective layer, it seems that you can see faintly that the passage is like a dark cave. And in the front, you can see a little white dot. The white dot, with the rapid progress of speed, is getting bigger and bigger. That is the exit of the transmission array. In other people's eyes, the teleportation array may be the magic of reaching the other side in an instant. However, at this time, in the eyes of Yunwu and others, it is like entering the tunnel and being slowed down. There should be an exit ahead. In the silver protective light, the red dragon pointed to the white spot in front of it. In the past, he passed through the barrier by himself. Of course, he did not say that there was another world in the barrier. Anyway, you can see it later. But, click. All of a sudden, a broken sound came out of the silent aperture. At first, Yunwu didn't find out. Until came out a chagrin low roar, damn it, transmission array appeared gap. Gap. Cloud Dance. A few people haven't reaction come over. Originally will a few people surrounded by silver light, suddenly in the dark broken and open. Hu a powerful whirlpool directly sucked the 4 people of Yunwu and Long Qingxie into it. An invisible pressure instantly attacked the whole body of the 4 people. At that moment, the cloud dancing dragon was separated by the powerful and irresistible force. Long Qingxie. Little thing. Ah. 4 people's startled voice, already disappeared in that dark whirlpool in an instant. The straight cylindrical transmission array was forced to decompose at that moment, and the 4 figures completely disappeared in the dark vortex. The 4 did not know what happened in the follow-up. They only remembered that in the huge whirlpool, under the strong and strange pressure, their consciousness was gradually blurred. And in the hazy consciousness, Yunwu seems to see faintly that many dry bones are piled up in the darkness of the whirlpool. It's like a dark graveyard black hole where all bones are dead. It's not deep, but it's creepy. This whirlpool is not the end of those who want to pass the border, is it? Do they really want to stay here in their last place? Oh, it's a good home not to be disturbed in the end. Yunwu's consciousness completely fell into darkness. It's very quiet here. Occasionally a gust of wind swept, yellow sand flying rotation, with the sound of gravel friction landing. How hot. Consciousness is still wandering in the boundless darkness of the clouds, feeling as if they were thrown into the oven in general, extremely uncomfortable. Well. Lying on the sand, the clouds suddenly hummed. Tightly closed eyes trembled for a while, the next second, eyebrows tightly locked up. What's going on? How did she feel like she was falling apart, and she was in great pain everywhere? Sha. A blast of hot air came with the sound of gravel rubbing. Finally, Cloud Dance's strong support slowly opened his eyes. But when I saw a piece of yellow sand in front of me, I was stunned. How? Cloud Dance just wanted to mutter something, but did not expect a gust of wind swept into a mouth of sand. Ba, ba, ba. Yunwoo quickly propped up his painful body, sat up and cleaned up the sand in his mouth. But soon, when the cloud dance is to be seen in front of everything to Zhengleng, the whole person seems to be in an instant reaction. The visual effect of yellow rolling can't see the edge at a glance, except for the yellow sand all over the sky, or the yellow sand, you can't see any other colors at all. Even the sky seems to be yellow. Under the dazzling sun, the high-temperature Lingbo light covered the whole desert ground. The heat is endless, as if it can almost steam people. This is a desert. What's going on? She doesn't fall in love with them, by the way. When they were in the transmission array suddenly broke the gap for no reason, and then they think of here, Cloud Dance suddenly twisted eyebrows. How are they? Will it be okay? Here is it the dragon. The cloud dances to lift the mouth toward all around to sweep one eye, all around don't see a bit of human figure, also don't have the appearance of life existence at all, let alone the trace of flying dragon. According to Gao Aolong's attitude, it is absolutely impossible to survive in this harsh desert. So where is this? Shouldn't she have been dumped somewhere else under the impact of the teleport? Or did she cross again? The more Yunwoo thought about it, the more agitated and inexplicable he was. Anyway, get out of here first. Cloud Dance slightly frowned, just want to stand up, but in the middle of the station and fell in mid-air. Pain, she covered her chest and frowned tightly. The position of the chest, as if by countless needle into the general, pain her straight air conditioning. What's going on? Yunwoo almost subconsciously wants to adjust the breath and look inside to see how his body is. However, as soon as she tried to use Yuanli, she felt a pain in her body. Her breath was unsteady, her throat was sweet, and blood overflowed from the corners of her mouth. How could that be? Cloud Dance stretched out his hand to wipe the blood on the corner of his mouth, and his eyes flashed with consternation. Just when she tried to use the power, Yunwoo found that the power could not be used. As soon as the power appeared, it was as if it was oppressed by something, and it disappeared in an instant. Moreover, it seems that the more she wants to force it up, the stronger the pressure is. That is to say, her power is oppressed. How could that be? Girl, this is the top of the desert at the border of the dragon tribe. Your body has been impacted by the power of the teleportation array, and you have suffered some internal injuries, so don't force the transportation for the time being. Internal injuries? No wonder she is tingling all over. It is estimated that she has suffered a lot of internal injuries in her body, and her breath is unstable. However, he said that this is the top of the desert at the border of the dragon people? So she's in the dragon family? But without waiting for the cloud dance to ask the exit, the tornado in the chaos hall suddenly flashed a piece of information. The top of the desert, it is a lonely space between the dragon and the border. It does not belong to the dragon. It belongs to the abandoned Senwuzi, the dragon, Shangjie, Fenghuang, etc. The people who appear in the top of the desert are usually evil people who are driven away by their own ethnic groups or commit crimes. In other words, the top of the desert is a place full of good and bad people. Everyone has it. But the only characteristic is that people on the top of the desert have no home to return to, or are abandoned. After digesting this information, Yunwoo somehow calmed down. Perhaps it was because she knew that this place was such a mode of existence that she had a bottom in her heart. Or maybe, because she felt that this place was too similar to the place where she lived in her previous life. Because in her previous life, she was an abandoned orphan. If she wanted to live, she could only become a cold-blooded killer, trampling on other people's bodies to live, otherwise she could only be trampled on her own bodies. In fact, there seems to be no difference between her former life and the so-called villain here. After pondering for a moment, Yunwoo put his mind away. Hayo, since you know this is the top of the desert, do you know how big this place is? She and Long Qingxie, Mengbai and Red Fire Dragon are scattered in the transmission array. Since she has fallen to the top of the desert, should Long Qingxia also be on the top of the desert? If the top of the desert is not big, it will be easy to find. However, Hayo was silent for a while before he was able to find the way. I came once a long time ago, and I don't know the top of the desert now, but it took me about 8 days to fly from one end to the other in my prime. About 8 days? Or was it flying in its heyday? Yunwu was a little surprised. So it's a slim chance to find dragons at the top of the desert. However, with Dragon's ability, she is all right, then they will be all right. If you can't find them on the top of the desert, you can wait for them when you go to the Dragon Tribe. Because their goal is Dragon Tribe. Cloud Dance thought of this, the heart is more settled. However, it seems that the situation is not optimistic at the top of the desert. Black Ao suddenly opens his mouth. What do you say? The clouds frown. You don't feel it yourself? The black pride in the Hall of Chaos, the red eyes under the black fog, slightly asked. Cloud Dance a sign Leng, but the next second, but frown up. Indeed, after she woke up, in addition to the pain of internal injury, she always felt that her chest was stuffy, and the feeling that her strength was suppressed became more and more clear. You can see that the power in my body has been suppressed. Is there any way to solve it? In this place, if the power is suppressed, you will be unprepared for the danger. She clearly felt that not only the power was suppressed, but also the connection with the little stinky beast seemed to be suppressed. Except for Hayo. No way. The pressure is from the natural barrier. As long as you leave the top of the desert, you will be okay. That's bullshit. Cloud Dance can't help but roll a white eye, and then look back at the desert. I saw the same yellow sand all around, and the sun was overhead, so I couldn't tell the direction at all. How do you know which side is the direction of the dragon? Moreover, the desert has a strong pressure. Even Jinling can't fly, and the contract beast can't summon her. Her power is suppressed again. Does it come true that she wants to walk with 2 legs? Looking at the area of the desert, I can't walk out for a month or 2. Think of here, Cloud Dance can't help but forehead black line straight down. And even if she could walk on 2 legs, how long would she last without water or food? It's true that she has everything in her space, but she doesn't prepare water and food, because those dragons are always ready, so she doesn't have to worry at all. This, on the contrary, led her into such a dilemma. In which direction is the dragon clan? At last, Yunwu asked. Just follow the direction of the sun setting. In fact, Hayo hasn't been here for a long time, but in my memory, the direction of the sun setting in the west is roughly where the dragon is locked. The west? Cloud Dance looks at the boundless desert, with a faint helplessness between eyebrows. In the case of no water and no food, after walking for a month or 2, her body must have been air-dried and buried. Cloud Dance is not reconciled, and secretly want to try to summon a few small stinky beast again. But I found that the pressure on the top of the desert had already oppressed her Yuanli, not to mention the contract beast. Even the Jinling could not summon and resist thinking about it. Looking at the endless top of the desert, the Cloud danced heavily with a sigh. After taking out a pill from the space and throwing it into his mouth, Yunwu walks towards the dragon nationality. Up to now, we have to go first. Boundless desert, dust flying, the foot of the yellow sand cackle, flutter hit in the face a little pain. The temperature is abnormally high, and the whole body is very hot. But the pace is still moving forward step by step, towards the goal. Direction the sun gradually goes down to the west. On the top of the vast desert, the figure of Cloud dancing is like a little finger, extremely small, and the sense of self-existence decreases instantly. Walking for nearly an afternoon, the water seems to have been evaporated. Yunwu felt thirsty, his lips cracked and his feet were exhausted. Although every time she walked a certain distance, she lavishly swallowed a healing pill as a candy, but in the end, the internal injury could not be cured all at once, and her physical strength was not as good as before. Her speed is getting slower and slower, which can almost be called tortoise speed. In addition to the occasional wind and sand, it seems that there is only the sound of her stepping on the yellow sand step by step. How hot. How quiet. Tired until the sky began to gradually enter the twilight. Kang. The sound of the long sword splashing out suddenly came from somewhere. Clouds suddenly stopped, Lak's look instantly condensed up. Someone. In his spare time, Yunwoo's eyes flashed and lurked in the direction of the sound source. Yes, it's latent. The body, which had been dragged long and powerless, turned into a wild leopard in the desert like a chicken's blood in an instant. After hibernating, it flashed away at a silent but rapid speed. That speed and posture, really don't see, she was injured not long ago to a capacity on the spitting blood patient. It's so hard to meet people in the desert. In particular, she walked all afternoon today and didn't see any people. Now she met her, so she couldn't let it go. Because she really needs some water now. After a while, the figure of Cloud Dance has been quietly lying on a desert hill, cold eyes staring at the fight below. Yes, it was a fight. However, the scene seemed different from what she had seen before. A dozen odd-looking people. Beast? In any case, it's something that looks like a man and a beast, which is surrounded by a group of people who seem to be caravans. They were fighting like fighting, and the orc's target seemed to be bags of things escorted by the caravan. As for what things, there are still some distance between the Cloud Dance is not very clear. However, the sight of Cloud Dance was attracted by the kettle on the waist of those people in the caravan. Brush. The fierce claws cut through the air and attacked the camel who was protected by several caravans. Roar. The camel carrying several sacks was torn open. Under the high temperature, the smell of blood diffuses quickly. However, the smell of blood seemed to stimulate the orcs more and more fiercely. There are more than 20 people in the caravan, all of them are strong. However, they are not as fierce as those orcs. In addition, those people in the caravan, as if to protect the camel's supplies, some of them were tied up. The fighting became more and more bloody. The Cloud Dance that lurks on the other yellow sand dune has never taken any action. It just looks at the fight and throws a pill into its mouth from time to time. In addition to being used for healing, some also want to be used to satisfy hunger. One afternoon, she was exhausted. However, her vision, from beginning to end, was just locked on the kettle at the waist of the caravan group. When the caravan was knocked down and torn one by one, and the kettle was pulled away by the orc, it looked like it had been killed. Cloud Dance's eyebrow can't help but gradually frown up. Damn it. Those orcs rob things when they want to. They can kill people while robbing. They have to drink the little water left at the same time. They are so greedy. Yunwoo was hurt. Originally, she intended to enjoy the benefits of fishing when those people were both hurt. But as the caravan gradually lost, the orcs became braver and braver, and the water on the caravan was gradually killed by the orcs. Cloud Dance can't stand it at last. Motherfucker, if you go on like this, don't talk about water. You can't even chew grass. What's more, she needs water too much now, and camels who can take her place. Several merchants were knocked down by the orcs, with a look of pain and blood spilling from the corners of their mouths, as if they could no longer fight. When an orc attacks again, there are several caravans to protect the remaining camel beast. Brush. Under the yellow sand, a cold light swept by. Poof. The sharp weapon pierced the sound of flesh and blood. However, this scene has not yet been reflected by anyone. The purple figure in the yellow sand swept quickly and attacked the next orc in an instant. Brush. In the heat of the high temperature, the cold flicker, with a chilling glare. Poop, poop. The smell of blood soon infected the area. When everyone reacted, 7 or 8 orcs had fallen on the yellow sand, and the blood had dyed the yellow sand red. The remaining 5 orcs, along with the caravan men, looked at the purple figure in dismay. Yunwoo picked up a kettle on the ground, looked up and poured it into his dry mouth. The water is a little warm, probably because of the high temperature. But when the water into the mouth, sliding into the esophagus, it seems to have a sense of life. After drinking all the water in the kettle, Yunwoo was relieved. At this time, she looked at the orcs and caravan people who were looking at her one by one. It's okay. I'm just passing by. Go on. The cloud dances and hands. However, her steps did not move, but looked at a camel beast on the other side of the caravan. After walking all afternoon, I feel that my feet are going to be worn out. If I could have a camel for walking, it would be much better. However, in the eyes of these people, Yunwoo thought that she was also the one who wanted to pay attention to those materials. Who are you? At this time, a rough voice came. The one who opened his mouth was an ORC with dark complexion and tiger head on his upper body. In front of them, the girl who suddenly came out and killed 7 or 8 of their companions in one breath made their vigilance soar 100%. From just now on, they haven't felt any fluctuation of Yuanli breath from the girl, which makes them unable to determine the strength of the girl. Even if he wanted to tear the girl to avenge his companion, he was afraid to do it. They said they were passing by. The meaning of cloud dance is very obvious. She's really just passing by, but she has a crush on one of them. The orcs thought that Yunwoo was looking for trouble. Looking at the cloud dance, the Mao light is fierce and ferocious, mind your own business, seek death. Looking for death. The cloud dances to smell speech, looking at the half-orc of that strong man, the corner of the mouth slightly raised a touch of sneer. You are not human, I don't blame you for not understanding people's words, but if you force me to distort my meaning, maybe I will do what you want. I'm looking for your trouble. After a hot afternoon, Yunwoo felt restless. The orc looks at the smile on the corner of Cloud's mouth, and his face changes slightly. It's a naked provocation, like a naked blow to their dignity. Good arrogant tone, good, then I'll let you see, on the top of the desert, who in the end is looking for trouble. The orc's eyes were fierce, and a strong breath suddenly rose from its body. The other 4 orcs, too, were breathing in an instant, with their swords twinkling. I want to attack Cloud Dance together. Yunwoo's eyes were cold. At the moment when the 3 orcs took the hand, the ancient sword cut through the air without any fighting spirit. However, it was stained with a strange murderous spirit, which made it move. While the blade cuts through the air. You. Pa. The orc had just spoken. With a clear sound, the handle sword had been cut into 2 parts. The other 4 orcs were forced to retreat a few steps by the force of the remnant sword, and then they managed to stand firm. I saw that the orc who had just opened his mouth had a bloodstain on his neck, which was bleeding rapidly at this time. The orc pressed his neck and stared at Yunwoo in horror. Who are you? She is an assassin. One of the orcs, with a flash of surprise in his eyes, stares at Yunwoo. There are many assassins on the top of the desert. However, there has never been an assassin who could have such a killing intention and a quick burst of stabbing skills without any fighting spirit. Where is this girl from? Upper Bound? Phoenix? Or Fairyland? However, if they can't guess at all, the cloud dance in front of them is just human beings in the human world. However, at this time, not only the orcs, but also the caravan people could not believe it. This young girl, it seems, is only a teenager. She is so effortless. As if, as long as she wants, these orcs in front of her are just like ants. She can control life and death at any time. Those orcs are the top strength of Wuzuan. What is the strength of this girl? It seems that she did it twice, but she couldn't see it. It's too profound. Who are you? The ORC with a cut in his neck asked again. It seems that it will not be reconciled if it is not clear. However, Cloud Dance is not interested in answering this question. As soon as he stepped up, he was ready to walk towards one of the camels in the caravan. Anyway, in this gathering place of evil people, she robbed a camel. It does not seem surprising. The caravan people looked at the Cloud Dance coming towards them step by step. Their eyes were still stunned, but their feet subconsciously retreated slightly. At least, they seem to know that they are not the girls' rivals. However, the orcs looked at Yunwu so shamelessly, and immediately felt a little embarrassed. You know, they are famous sand thieves on the top of the desert. Who is not afraid to meet them? But in front of her, the girl who didn't know where to come from actually despised them so much that they felt humiliated. What are you doing? Kill her. The orc, who was covering the wound on his neck, suddenly cried angrily. The other 4 orcs immediately picked up their swords and attacked the cloud dance fiercely. Brush. Girl, be careful. A man in the caravan called out. However, the next second, not only the 4 orcs, but also the caravan's eyes widened again. Gone. So the figure disappeared in front of their eyes? Hiss. Poof. The yellow sand on the ground passed the sharp weapon, accompanied by the sound of the blade entering the meat. The orc, who had just covered his neck, was in pain. His eyes looked at the clouds, full of disbelief, and his figure retreated a few steps. He looked down at the big knife inserted, bleeding chest, looked surprised, this breath, you. Before the last sentence was finished, Guwu de Geo was pulled out neatly, and the orc fell back and broke his breath. I told you, don't mess with me. Light voice, with a very cold. Yunwu holds a big knife in his hand, and his body is sallow. At this time, in people's eyes, it is so strange, so abrupt, so sacred and inviolable, general existence. You have people who killed us. Do you know who we are? How dare you kill so many of us? One of the orcs was enraged by Yunwu's sneer. His eyes were fierce and he growled angrily. Is it none of my business? Cloud Dance glanced at the man and said it naturally. You. The man's mouth twitched with anger and could not refute it. Leave standing. Or lie down. I'll count to 3. You choose. Cloud Dance lazy hands ring chest, eye color but some slightly unhappy, obviously she is tired of this provocation. At the moment, she just wants to get a camel and leave here without walking. 1 2 3. In 1 second, the 3 numbers are finished. You wait for us. The remaining 4 centaurs roared angrily. The next moment, they quickly turned away and disappeared. But vaguely, it seems that they can still hear a word. XX depends on you. Do you count like that? The caravan. Cloud Dance looks at the half-orc that has disappeared, and takes back her eyes indifferently. Thank you, girl. At this time, one of the injured businessmen finally adjusted his breath, stood up and bowed to Cloud Dance to thank him. If it wasn't for the girl's help just now, the consequences are really unimaginable. I don't know how to thank the girl. Cloud Dance willow eyebrow looked at that person one eye, immediately, her line of sight but a turn, fell on another man in that caravan body. Anyone with a clear eye can see that it is not the manager of the caravan who is thanking her, but pretends to be the manager to thank her. Forget it. Anyway, it's none of her business. She just needs to get camel warcraft. What's more, she didn't mean to save them. It makes no difference to her whether she thanks or not. If you really want to thank me, you might as well give me a camel and a pot of water. Cloud Dance said, immediately eyes on the camel warcraft not far away. At the moment, the pain on her body increased a lot, although she swallowed a lot of pills, but just for the sake of effect, she was really hurt on top of the injury. Of course, for her, the pain of those injuries can be tolerated, even if it goes on like this. Small injuries can also make big problems. When there are camels to walk on, you have to find a place to rest and regulate your body. The businessman was slightly stunned. It seems unexpected that her request is just a camel and a pot of water. I thought she also wanted to be escorted by them, but the businessman also responded very quickly, and then said with a smile, that's easy to say. Looking back at another businessman, he said, take a camel and get some water. Soon, a businessman on the other side came with a camel and a pot of water. Yunwu took the camel and water, nodded to the merchant, and then turned away neatly. It seems that there is something unexpected about Cloud Dance. Girl. Suddenly, a cry came out. Cloud Dance smell speech, frown of turn ahead to look at that businessman who walk. What's the matter? Very cold 2 words, let the businessman who came along. What a cold girl. It's nothing. It's just I think you've heard a lot. Here are some healing herbs. Maybe they can help you. Looking at Yunwoo's indifferent eyes, the merchant felt a slight shock. He didn't dare to say anything like thank you anymore and handed the herbal medicine to Yunwoo directly. Cloud Dance, looking at herbal medicine, nodded to take over, but that tiny drooping pupil Mao is full of doubt. How can these businessmen see her internal injuries? It seems that these people are not ordinary businessmen. That herbal medicine is a common healing medicine. For Yunwoo, who has swallowed so many high-level pills, in fact, these herbs are not very useful. Put the herbs into the space, you can see the yellow sunset desert, and your eyes are still. It's dusk. Not to mention, the dusk in the desert is much more beautiful than usual, but it's a pity that she doesn't have much elegance to enjoy at this time. I'd better hurry and see if there is any place in front to stay for a night. The merchant also looked at the sunny dusk, showing a touch of worry. He couldn't help looking at Yunwoo again. Look, girl, it seems that she has just arrived at the top of the desert, right? It's almost dark now. After dark, the top of the desert will be extremely dangerous. Extremely dangerous? The danger of deserts is usually a rapid drop in temperature. For this point, Yunwoo has the bottom of her heart. Although she can't use Yuanli, the storage space of the bracelet doesn't affect her use. Warm clothes and so on, she has everything in the space. The danger of a drop in temperature is not a big problem for her. However, looking at these businessmen's faces, it seems that they are not right. Yunwoo frowned and asked, what's the dangerous way? The businessman was silent for a moment, and then he said seriously, the top of the desert is different from other desert places. The day on the top of the desert is already very hard, and the night is even harder. When the merchant said this, he was silent for a moment, and then continued, in addition to the extremely cold night, the most important thing is that there will be hordes of desert beasts. Desert beast? Cloud Dance, smell speech, micro frown. The beast of the desert is the most ferocious and the only beast on the top of the desert. Generally speaking, the beast of the desert only moves at night, but it also appears in the daytime when it is very hungry. Every time the beast appears, it comes out in groups, with a large number and strong attack power. Even the most powerful experts on the top of the desert, once they meet with groups, the team's desert beasts are not their opponents, especially once they are surrounded. There is only one way to die. At this time, the middle-aged man who had been sitting on the back of Camel Warcraft came down and explained to Yunwoo. Cloud Dance, looking at him, the corner of the mouth is not easy to detect a pull. If you're right, he's the leader of the caravan. However, the desert beast in his mouth is really so powerful? If so, that's tricky. The desert beast has a keen sense of smell and is extremely bloodthirsty. If someone gets lost in the desert, even if the hidden one is perfect, it will be smelled by the desert beast. Seeing Yunwoo's puzzled eyes, the merchant added again. The Cloud Dances to smell speech, eyebrows slightly wrinkle, in the heart also can't help passing a touch of surprise. The nose of the desert beast is really more sensitive than the dog nose? If that's the case, isn't it certain that she'll meet her on the top of the desert tonight? If she's not hurt and her strength isn't suppressed, maybe she's not worried about anything. But now the middle-aged man seemed to see the idea of Cloud Dance. A little undercurrent flashed in his shrewd eyes, and then he laughed. If the girl doesn't dislike it, why don't you follow our caravan? It's not too far from here. There's a city. It's the place of our caravan. Girls can spend a night there. A city. The Cloud Dances to smell speech, can't help to lift Mao of Saw and eye that middle-aged man. The middle-aged man didn't dodge. He looked back at Yunwoo seriously and sincerely, as if waiting for her answer. After a moment's silence, Yunwoo said with a polite smile, "Well, please take care of it." In a word, the middle-aged man was stunned. It seems unexpected that Cloud Dance can recognize him as the leader. However, the middle-aged man is also a person who has been rolling on the top of the storm, and naturally knows how to speak properly. "It's no trouble. I don't know you, but you just saved me. I remember your kindness. I don't care about this little thing now." Cloud Dance smelled speech, but not much expression. She admitted that she had never known each other, but if it wasn't for their water and camel warcraft, she would have been too lazy to help, but it seems too exaggerated to say that they can help each other. However, if he wanted to say that, she would be regarded as the benefactor who saved them. Anyway, she was also affected by the dragon's evil spirit and had some thick skin after half a ring. After cleaning up the battlefield, the caravan people gave a camel to Yunwoo. Yunwoo rode a camel and followed the caravan to Shacheng. Originally, she was going to the west of the dragon tribe, but now the city they were going to is in the south. A group of people with the fastest speed finally arrived at the city gate before it was completely dark. Under the moonlight, Cloud Dance raised her eyes and looked at the two words on the top of the city wall. She said, "Shacheng." The surrounding area of Shacheng is built of that kind of huge stone, thick and rough, but it seems obvious that there are many cracks on the walls. It's very old. However, it is a city indeed. After entering Shacheng, the merchant took Yunwoo to a luxury inn and arranged for her from beginning to end before leaving. Yunwoo looked at the merchant's considerate care and nodded in his heart. He had no intention to do it, but it was equivalent to saving a series of troubles. Looking at his room, Cloud Dance willow eyebrow micro pick. It's really an extremely luxurious room. The inn has 3 floors, and the top floor is a luxury room, which is exactly where she lives. Just now, when the shop boy was treating other guests with ordinary courtesy, he was humble and respectful when he saw the man. Obviously, he attached great importance to it. She could vaguely feel that there must be something behind those businessmen who were not businessmen. But it didn't seem to concern her. "Forget it, I'll leave tomorrow." No matter who they are, it doesn't seem to have much to do with her. Cloud Dance took out some healing pills from the space and adjusted her body with strength. She was a little surprised with this strength. What's going on? Why does her strength seem to have recovered? Before entering the city, she clearly felt as if her power had been suppressed by something. Now, although she has not been completely liberated, the pressure in her body seems to be smaller. Is it because the pressure in the air is less? Or is it because of the sand city? However, a little strength is better than nothing. She used strength to recuperate internal injury. Good half ring, the breath in the body is not so sad. Almost a day no food, this stop, Cloud Dance just found empty stomach. Yunwoo looks at the snacks and fruits on the table and frowns slightly. Can these things fill his stomach? Thinking about it, she plans to go downstairs and have something to eat. Although the service in the VIP room here is very considerate, she only needs to pass on what she wants, but she also wants to know what this desert city is. Go downstairs. Yunwoo finds a place with a low sense of existence, sits down, orders some food, and listens to everyone's comments while eating. See, she's the one left league brought in person. Is that old boy itching? She looks pretty good. She looks weak. I don't know what the left league likes about her. Ha ha ha. Cloud Dance eating food, originally deep cold eyes, more and more cold. Who did she think they were talking about at first? Now I see that they are looking at her. These people have no respect for their words. They sound like street thugs, but their strength should not be underestimated. They are not ordinary people. Listen to their accent, it's not like a place. However, the people on the top of the desert seem to be the places where the evil people live. These people are just those people, right? Ignoring the gaze of the crowd, Yunwoo called Shengdiangxior to go directly back to the room. In the room. What can I do for you, girl? Cloud Dance sits on the stool, picks up the teacup on the table to play, indifferent way, just who are those people? The shopkeeper was stunned for a moment, and then said with a smile, the girl probably doesn't know that the top of the desert is a place that doesn't care. The only way to survive is to be strong. Those people have done some heinous or shameful things and are driven out by the family. How many good people are there? When the leader of the Left League brought the people over, he told them that this girl was a new foreigner, and she was not familiar with the top of the desert, so they should take care of her. So the shopkeeper thought that Yunwoo didn't know what kind of place the top of the desert was, so he explained it. Family? Cloud Dance's pick eyebrows. They should have been driven out by their own ethnic group. However, Cloud Dance didn't say anything about this. Micro raised his hand, indicating that the shop boy continued to say. Some of these people are from the Dragon Clan, the Upper Kingdom, the Phoenix Clan and so on. They have committed some heinous crimes, or they have corrupted the customs, raped and plundered people. Therefore, they have been driven out by their clan or exiled here. Just be careful, girl. Cloud Dance smells speech, the corners of the mouth slightly hook up, smile. Although we know something from the tornado, it seems that we feel different when we hear it. No wonder these people have high accomplishments, but they don't have much cultivation. They all live here. Isn't it a mess here? The shopkeeper shook his head. Most people here will only come back at night in order to avoid the herd. They will leave early tomorrow morning to do their own things. No wonder it's late now, and it's still as busy as the day. What else can they do here? The shopkeeper looked helpless, as if he had something to say. Girl, they are raping, and plundering. What else can they do? Oh, Cloud Dance laughs, it seems that she asked a very stupid idiot's question. Isn't there a mess here? Yunwoo talks to himself, but he is refuted by the shopkeeper. These things are common in other places. It's no fuss, but there are rules in Shacheng. You are not allowed to do anything wrong here, or you will be driven out of the city and never come back. So it is. Cloud Dance nodded, the top of the desert is really a place of fish and dragons mixed, the upper bound and other families cannot manage all the wonderful flowers gathered here. Girl, don't you know what else to do? The shopkeeper asked, looking at the Cloud Dance. Cloud Dance raises mouth to smile, it's okay. The shopkeeper nodded and said with a smile, that girl, please have a rest first, and call me if you have something to do. Then the shopkeeper turned and left. Yunwoo watched Dianxior leave and thought about Dianxior's words. It's not only a place to be ignored, but also the only habitat for all the expelled people. It's estimated that killing a person is as easy as killing a chicken. She is not yet healed from internal injury, and her strength is not available from time to time. Standing in front of the window, Yunwoo looks at the dark and boundless night sky in the distance and sighs a little. I don't know what happened to them. Is it serious? We have to find them as soon as possible. The darkness endlessly rendering the top of the desert, more and more dark. In the dead of night, Cloud Dance can almost clearly feel the taste of desert animals. Wild blood. Howling from time to time, with a long and fierce voice, makes the dark night even colder. After midnight, the top of the desert returns to the past. Early in the morning, Yunwoo got up early. He had planned to go to find Long Qingxie and others after dawn. But when I got up, I found that the internal injury which just improved last night returned to the state when I just woke up, and the breath in my body became more and more unstable. Cloud Dance slightly frowned, how to return a responsibility. At the moment when she used her strength, her chi and blood churned. Poof! A mouthful of blood spurted out, and the blood filled the mouth. Damn it! Her internal injury seems to be back to the origin. What's going on? Is it because she used her own strength to heal? Yunwoo wrinkled her forehead and stood up. She was a little pale. Although she was worried about the safety of Long Qingxie and others, she had to rest for a few days and couldn't leave for the moment. Since I can't leave, I'll go out to know about Shacheng and see if I can meet someone who has her situation and can't recover with strength and pills. Is there anything else I can recover from? She could feel that the impact of the teleport had not been dispersed in her body. Just walked to the inn gate, Yunwoo met the leader of yesterday's caravan. Left league to see Cloud Dance will stop, as if to come here is to find Cloud Dance. Girl, so early. Zhua Meng looked at the pale Cloud Dance, looking worried. Cloud Dance nods, some pale corners of the mouth slightly a hook, want to go out for a walk. You have not recovered from your serious injury. It's better to have a rest. Cloud Dance slightly jaw head, did not answer, turned and left. Say, they are just strangers, there is no need to pretend so familiar. Left Commander. Good morning, Commander left. Good morning. Yunwoo, who had just left the inn for a few steps, heard that all the people in the inn were calling the left commander and looked back in doubt. Only then discovered that in the inn everybody slightly bows to the left alliance, is very humble. Yunwoo takes back her eyes and stares slightly. It seems that the merchant's identity is really not simple. It seems that he is still a very important person in Shacheng. After leaving the inn, Yunwoo comes to the street of Shacheng and tries to find some people who are very familiar with Shacheng, but finds that there is no way to speak. Damn you, Mom, are you cheating on me? It's said that there are some beautiful girls in the evil city. How many elder brothers are going to have a look? Listening to all kinds of voices, Yunwoo couldn't help frowning. He really felt the noise was tight. Just about to leave, but was stopped by a tall man. Oh, when did such a beautiful girl come to Shacheng? Looking at the light in front of him was blocked in a moment, there was some displeasure between Cloud Dancing eyebrows. He looked at the man slightly, but only saw the man's chest. Yes, she looked up, only to the man's chest. Cloud Dance slightly surprised, this person how so high? Looking up again is the shoulder. Looking up again, you can see the face of that person. This person's height is almost half higher than her. In front of him, she is at best a little girl who has just begun to develop. No, the subtle wrinkle of Cloud Dancing willow eyebrow, he is not human. The breath of this man is obviously the unique dragon breath of Red Fire Dragon. Is he a dragon? Is this man driven out by the dragon tribe? However, some strange is, why is he so tall, and Red Fire Dragon's body is similar to normal people? For the situation that the man in front of him is a dragon, Yunwoo is not too surprised after he is quite stunned. Because this place is originally a place where good and bad people gather. It seems that no one should be too surprised to appear here. What are you looking at? The man was a little annoyed by Yunwoo and roared angrily. Cloud Dance indifferently takes back the vision, crosses that person huge body shape, left. Just after Yunwoo had taken a few steps, the man stood in front of her again, and her voice began to flow. It's also pushed out by all ethnic groups. What the hell are you pretending to be? The Cloud Dances and hears the words, and the eyes suddenly fall cold. Probably because of the indifference of Yunwoo's body, and her rather pale face, it was like a layer of frost, which made people dare not touch. When the man saw it, a flash of surprise flashed through his eyes, and he couldn't help swallowing a mouthful of saliva. This woman is extremely cool and beautiful. It's just, it seems, it's not easy. Please, in front of my sunshine. Cloud Dance indifferent mouth, did not look up to see the man. It's too high. It makes my neck ache. I said that you really pretended to be noble. Today I will. As soon as the man's face sank, he seemed to be annoyed by Yunwoo's, ignoring his attitude. At the same time, he suddenly reached out to catch Yunwoo. But the next second. Ah! Just before his hand touched the corner of Cloud Dancing's clothes, he let out a cry of pain. Poof! He fell to the ground with a plop. Such a huge body really fell to the ground, the dust was splashed by the impact force, blurred the vision. When the dust falls and the sight around is clear. Cloud dance. This just slightly slants overhead, looking at don't know when appear of left leg, eyebrow tiny pick. Just now, she didn't do it. Zhuo Meng nodded to the cloud dance, and then walked to the man, looking sharp and cold. Come on, drag him out, step into the Sand City, there is no amnesty. The majestic voice echoed around. Yes, a neat response sounded. Then, 5 or 6 guards in armor appeared in an instant and dragged the man away like a chicken. There was no reason to be merciful. See here, cloud dance is a pick eyebrow again, the bottom of the eye passes a little bit surprised. It seems that the left leg is not simple. However, today I saw the rules of Shacheng. It's very aggressive. Zhuo Meng went to Yunwu, looked at her morbid and pale face, pondered for a while and said, Girl, it seems that your internal injury is extremely difficult to recover. Is there anything I can do for you? Girl, you can tell me at any time. No, I'll just have a rest. Yunwu refused. For this place and the left leg, she can't be at ease. What's more, she had so many healing pills, even precious healing herbs, but they didn't seem to have any effect. What else can I do for her in this wild desert? She took a break to see why. Left leg see cloud dance refuse, the eye ground is deep pass by. After a moment's silence, Zhuo Meng began to speak. It seems that the girl has some scruples. In this case, she should give orders when she has something to do. However, if she doesn't dislike it, I have a herb here. If you take it, maybe it can help you recover your internal injury. After that, he took out a herb from his arms and handed it to Yunwu. The herb is full of clear green, no water, no soil, but it is especially crystal clear. Originally, Yunwu didn't pay much attention to the healing herbs he gave. But when the sight touched the herb he handed over, Cloud Dance was stunned. Because, at that moment, she was able to clearly sense that there seemed to be an unusual power in the herb. Magic grass. Since there will be such precious magic grass in this place. The voice of Hayo's surprise suddenly rang out in Yunwu's mind. Magic grass. Hayo, do you know this herb? Cloud Dance heart read to ask away. Well, this kind of magic grass grows in the desert. It's a rare herb that is extremely hard to find. It has the magical effect of healing internal injuries. When I came to the top of the desert, I just wanted to find one. Unfortunately, what a pity. It's a pity that I searched all over the top of the desert, but I didn't find any trace. Unexpectedly, this boy is very generous and gives you such a good thing. All over the top of the desert. Cloud Dance smells speech, not from quite surprised. Girl, what's the matter with you? Left leg looking at Cloud Dance, staring at the magic grass, not from a voice called A. The Cloud Dance returns to mind, slightly pulled to pull the corner of the mouth, nothing. As she spoke, she took over the magic grass. When the magic grass touched the palm of her hand, it sent out a curl of green light. The unusual feeling in the magic grass seemed to be more intense. Is that what makes magic grass special? Anyway, so far, healing is the most important thing. I'll take it, thank you. Yunwu put away the magic grass. Zhuo Meng smiles and appreciates the free and easy and decisive of Cloud Dance. Then he says, this magic herb has a very good healing effect, but I feel that there is an external force in your body. In order to prevent them from resisting, it's better to take it in a day or two. Foreign power. How could he feel the power in her? This leftist league is really not simple. Cloud Dance will be magic grass back to space, sincerely said, thank you. You're tuning into the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.